Good morning, everyone. It is Team United here. It's actually afternoon, probably where most of y'all are, but I'm here early in the morning. It's Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and we are here to discuss, you guessed it right, the rehearsals of the day. It is day 2, where the second half of the first semi is rehearsing, and we got a bunch of them already. And of course, there is still lots to go. So I think we'll jump right into it. Of course, you those who were here yesterday, you remember Alexandros. How are you this morning?
From Greece. I'm very good. I'm very excited about the second day for the rehearsals. And I haven't watched anything, so my reactions will be very true to all the rehearsals.
Okay, and then one webcam down. It is Boris. How are you holding up this morning? Well, afternoon.
Still a bit tired. It's Sunday and I'm decadent and useless as always. So I'm still sipping my coffee. But the crankiness will help me be sharp with my assessments tonight. So hopefully we'll see.
It's 5 in the morning here, so the amount of sympathy is limited on my end. And then as we're waiting, we also had Daniel joining. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good.
The team, the viewers have not met you yet. So do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm Dan, or Daniel, either one. I actually live in the UK, but I am from Cyprus originally. So.
Cyprus. Well, we have then probably, I would love to hear your thoughts, of course, in just a moment. Sure. And we got a full house here, so I think we should jump right into it. Thank you, everyone in the chat already, chatting away. And I know Oscar, he posted a lot of links earlier. Thank you so much for that. Keep doing that. That's super helpful. And, I know I asked for, if other moderators want to help right now, we have, I will ask about that later as well. But before we jump into today's content, because Anders and we spoke plenty yesterday about the rehearsal. So I want to just real quick, Boris and Daniel's, your thoughts as well. Boris, just in a quick summary, how did you feel about yesterday's first day and who stood out to you in a good way yesterday?
Everything looked actually pretty good, I thought. I thought every act had done what it needed to do in order to look visually appealing on the stage. Some succeeded better than others, but I was pretty satisfied with the whole from yesterday in general. I think Ukraine delivered the most, I think, in terms of their full potential, because people were kind of sleeping or not quite sure whether they would be top 5 or like a winner contender. But from the pictures that I see, it's something that could potentially be really epic if they sort of put the camera angles right. And another, I think, high flyer for me personally was Ireland. Ireland is really good. Ireland is a country that or a song that I didn't care for at the start, but Bambi has really knocked it out of the park at the pre-parties and then continue to do so in the rehearsals, it seems. So I hope that they can knock out a very rare Irish qualification. It's been forever. They've earned one.
I know. It's pretty bad. And Daniel, your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I just apologize. I sort of got the timings wrong yesterday for the...
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't even say, nobody knew. Like, Daniel was supposed to be here yesterday, and I think he got the times mixed up. That's fine. We had plenty to talk about.
It's cool. I think I would agree with Boris. I think Ukraine stood out mostly for me. I sort of went off this song actually for a while, as well as Lithuania. Like, I loved them initially, and then I sort of just faded out for me. I guess, I did like Bambi Thag, but I couldn't hear the vocal that great. It wasn't sort of...
The TikTok clip was shite, because there were so many quick cuts, you couldn't hear it. It was useless, almost.
I do want to say a caveat, because I'm guessing it's, we're sort of passing judgment on these sort of just pictures, and even in the clip, it's from this angle. You're not even getting the whole vibe at all. So it's very much speculation sort of at the moment.
The sound quality don't go off by that. It's always garbage because it's always off mic, and it's the same thing in the press center, by the way, because if you're there and you're hearing the sound from like these giant boxes that are on the other side of the massive hall where they stuff all of the fan press, Like you can't really have a good idea of vocals unless they're so bad that you cannot mistake them as being off pitch. But whether someone sounds excellent or not, like that's really difficult to discern. They would have to sing loudly.
Yes,
and the whole visual as well, because the camera is just it's a static camera from like, I don't know, you're not getting the whole thing, so it's kind of very much.
It is very interesting that you point that out, because you're right, Boris and Daniel, actually. One of the things is when you're in the arena, just like the clips, it sounds very different than it sounds on TV. So it's very misleading, and same for the press. And I remember sitting in there and like, this sounded good, and then you listen to it on the headphones somewhere else on TV and just like, that did not sound good. And it's a very different feel. And yes, it's difficult to just go by the pictures in there. Sometimes, I mean, last year, when we saw Greece in some others, the first red flags were warranted in the end. But others, like, remember when France came out and pictures were like, oh my God, this looks amazing. And France shot to I don't know, top 3 in the betting odds. I don't remember how high, but they went like super high.
I saw France and I thought, well, this is daft.
Yeah, and then we saw the whole thing.
This is completely insane and not in a good way. But yeah, well, I mean, different people, different perceptions.
All right, so just real quick, all 3 of you, then I'm going to go through all the rehearsals. Pick 1 or 2 from today you're really interested in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a favorite, but more like what they're going to do with the staging or the package. Which one you really want to see today? Alexandros, who comes to mind for you first?
Azerbaijan and Australia. Like Australia, as I've said yesterday, I cannot wrap my head around what they're going to do, like how they're going to stage their songs. So I really want to see it.
Yes. Okay, how about you, Boris?
Slovenia, but I've already seen the pictures of that one, so I will reserve my judgment until we get there with our discussion. Yeah. And Australia, yeah, because Australia is a massive question mark. We don't know what to expect from them.
Daniel?
I'm interested to see Luxembourg and sort of Slovenia and Finland, although I have seen the pictures. To be honest, for me, it's quite a weak sort of part of the semi-finals. I wasn't sort of for me.
I will think the first half is more like the group was the group of the fan favorites, and this is the group of underdogs. I think it's fair to say. That doesn't mean they're not good, but it's in terms of fan polls and betting odds. The songs today are not necessarily high up there. That doesn't mean they're bad songs or they are not deserving. It's just like based on expectations. I think it's fair to say these songs are not like they're the underdogs. I think that's fair to say.
It's just that today is just the least competitive day of the 4. If we just separate it, well, of the 5, because the big 5 are rehearsing on a different day. Today is the least competitive day on the 4 of the 5, and theoretically the least interesting day. But that doesn't mean that we can't be surprised.
Exactly.
If we take the opposite approach,
the least interesting day. But
maybe it's the most competitive because we have no idea, because one thing I've been saying is because the first half is like the one that really has all the bangers. I have a hard time believing that every single song from the first half is going to go through and only like 3 from the second half. So I feel as there may be some casualties from the first half that we thought would go through, and then a song from the second half will squeeze in that we did not see coming. So that's what you too, Alexander?
Yeah.
So let's just real quick. I know that Alexandros and we have not even read or seen any of the pictures yet for the ones that have been done already for today. So let me go ahead and read the first rehearsal of the day, which is Iceland. So Hera Björk returning. Well, she has been back as a backup singer in between, but her solo performance at Eurovision dates back 14 years in 2010 with Je ne sais quoi. I know she was a backup singer in 2015. Do you recall, top of your head, what other years she was backup singing? That was another year, I think.
2009, I know.
2009, yeah, that's right. That was before she wasn't. And that was another one a few years ago, I think, where she returned. And was it 2018? I want to say, I'm not sure. Anyways, let me read for this. Hera has swapped the song Va Kepnin red sparkly jumpsuit for gold and very sparkly with fringing to aid fearless flight. We've heard it weighs 6 kilograms, but we'll confirm. She starts on a black plinth of not high, fear not. Oh, because scared of heights. Backed by 5 backing singers. It's very similar to the national final performance, just on a Malmo scale. Lots of gold graphics and silhouettes of dancers on the LED wall makes it feel like a big old party. We're having a little chair bop in section A4. What a way to start the day. And no pyros for Iceland, but Hera is sparkly enough. So go ahead.
Do we get pyros in the first run of rehearsals? We don't always do that.
No, they do. The final run through, they do pyros. Or smoke. The first 2 or 3, but the very last one, that usually does have them. So let me bring up the pictures real quick so we can look at them together, those who have not seen it yet. She also has a TikTok, apparently. So let's go for the pictures first, though. So you can see her sparkly dress here, very golden.
I like the ponytail.
She looks... By the way,
she looks young with that. I like that.
She looks young. Anyway, she looks so good. I hate her. So.
Okay.
I mean, if we looked like that at age 52, we would be unstoppable, all 4 of us.
I know. So the backdrop, it's mostly just like red goldish, I think, based on the pictures. Yeah, here. So there's her little staircase that she's on. It's pretty big, but similar to what we saw in the national final. The dancers, we don't get to see much. So there's some blue backdrop. And here we are. So I am going to... Oh, wait, I have to switch... because if I share my screen, the sound doesn't work. So I have to share through my tabs to get the TikTok going. So hold on one second, then we'll talk about this video link. And as a reminder, I sometimes have to mute the clip for a little bit because copyright. So just hold on tight. Tab. This is TikTok. All right. If you don't hear anything, just yell at me. I mean, not yell, but, speak up.
So hi everyone, Iceland.
It's a bit choppy.
Is it choppy?
Yeah, well, no, it isn't choppy anymore, but it was for a while.
Okay.
Few secs.
So you can see all of that. Okay, so vocally, there's some backup dancers on the backdrop. Can I say something first, and then I ask you? I have, why I'm already so happy. It's because they have actual real backup singers. I know, call me old-fashioned, but I love real backup singers at Eurovision, and I know that's a thing in the past. So Hera, Björk, sticking to that makes me very, very happy. So I want to point out.
It is smart because I think a lot of people actually like the genuineness of having real backup singers rather than having them canned as part of the soundtrack. So I think it's smart to have them.
Yeah, so I thought it was a smart choice. Now, let's talk this through first. This time I'm going to start on the left again. Alexandros, your thoughts seeing the pictures and the clip. Did your opinion change, or did it get better, worse?
Seeing the pictures, and I realized that it's the same as the national final performance. So it's not really much, like I cannot change my opinion based on that and these 4 photos and the video, the TikToks. But I mean, it's colorful, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's okay. It's an okay-ish performance. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I mean, it is also like not necessarily the most desirable running order coming right after Croatia, but somebody has to. Somebody has to.
Okay.
Daniel, your thoughts?
About the same. I don't think my opinion's changed at all. It's a good. I mean, it's a nice, pleasant song. I don't want to sort of demean it in any way. I personally, I find this sort of song a little bit quite dated in terms of it reminds me of sort of like early 2010s or even way back, like late 2000s. Yeah, that's something.
And that's not I love retro, but
Yeah, totally. But maybe you kind of have to elevate it or update it, or and I don't know. It's just sort of. But at the same time, I do like the idea of having older singers and it not being so youth-centric Eurovision. And I think you need more singers like that in general, so it's just a bit more all-encompassing rather than so, you know, I agree with her going, but I don't know how far it will go personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can you
Boris,
imagine
any
if-
other thoughts?
Can you imagine if every old woman that participated in the national selection this year actually won the selection? We would have Ellen
We
for
have
Norway,
Spain.
Constructed for we would have Loredana twice.
Mm.
I wouldn't mind
That would have been great. Hag Vision is the best vision. We need more of that. As far as Iceland is concerned, yeah, it's Hera Björk. Does exactly what you would expect. It's exactly as it says on the tin. Big vocals, charismatic performance, simple Schlager song. It doesn't set my world on fire, but it's nice. I like it. I don't mind it. It could qualify. It could not. Who knows?
Really? Okay, so you're a little bit more, I'll call it a DOA technically. I thought that Scared of Heights is actually less modern than Je ne sais quoi was in 2010. You know, we're talking 14 years back. So that's probably, and retro is not always a bad thing. We have plenty of retro songs that we talked about and we'll talk about again. But it's more like there's a difference between being retro and being outdated, right? And I think that is the issue with this song. It does not feel retro. It feels outdated to me. And that's probably the biggest issue I have here. It's not really like a song that a lot of people, unless you're really into that particular moment in time, can hold on to. In terms of staging, I will agree. I don't necessarily think this will leave a huge impact. And like, the staging is adjusted to the big Malmo stage, right? So it makes perfect sense. She looks better. I like the outfit better. I always find it kind of funny, not haha, yeah, maybe a haha funny, is she really does look like she's scared of heights when she goes down the stairs. It always seems like a little like, oh, slow, hold on, I'm not gonna fall. And so it's almost like appropriate for the song. But yeah, I don't think necessarily anything I just saw right now is changing my mind. I still think that Iceland has an uphill battle to qualify. But once again, we've seen 10 pictures and a clip. So, you know, everything is still up for debate. But I think just based on the song alone. Just out of a raise hands here, anyone in the group here thinks that Iceland, with or without this clip, has a shot of qualifying? Nobody? So, Alexandros, you too a little bit? Oh, everybody?
I mean, the only reason that I think that it has a chance is that maybe, and that's a very big maybe, but like, you know, because this year we have many, as I've said, upbeat songs, and we have like a lot of noise in a good way, not in a bad way. But like, there are some songs like this one that it's not a filler song, but like it calms you down. It calms you down before the next big song. So maybe some people will maybe like it more, maybe think this is like a nice song that calms you down before like every other upbeat song, like with, I don't know, Luxembourg, Finland.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Yeah, and we need to keep in mind we have technically only, they have to compete against 14 other countries, right? So all they need to do is be not in the bottom 4 in the televote in most countries, and they'll get points. You know, so that's one thing we also need to take into account. So that's why I would never say never, but it's unlikely in my view. But also in the chat, those who think that Iceland has a shot to qualify in your view, let me know. I want to see how many people will speak up. Boris, but you also said there's still a minor chance for Iceland to go through?
Yeah, my argument is a little bit different than that of Alex. I personally think that competitiveness in Eurovision is often a paradox. So when there are many entries that do not feel competitive, ironically, it becomes very competitive for that final slot, because I feel like everyone is equally, well, uncompetitive, which ironically means that everyone has kind of a small chance of qualifying. I feel like in this semi, there are 3 really obvious qualifiers, and then which are Croatia, Lithuania, Ukraine, and then 3 very likely qualifiers, which are Luxembourg, Finland, and Poland. And the other 4 can be anyone. And I do genuinely feel that no one is completely dead in this semi. We could have some really crazy results, and maybe Iceland is one of those results. I do know that my mom really loves that song, and she's a wine mom through and through. So maybe it's one for the older ladies out there that love the party still. And there's still a lot of ladies who, you know, follow that paradigm. So
True.
I don't know. I do feel like there's a target audience for Iceland. I just don't know if the target audience for Iceland would vote for Iceland in a large enough capacity for it
Yeah,
to qualify.
it's a
But
niche,
possible.
but too much of a niche, maybe, the way I'm hearing it. I totally can see that. Let's just jump into Slovenia. We can always come back to Iceland in just a moment. By the way, no one in the chat really thinks that Iceland is going through either, so it's going to be interesting if we end up all being wrong. Let's take a look here. So let's talk about Slovenia's Raiven, Veronika. Veronika is inspired by the story of Dada. We know all of that. The track is none da 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 da. For staging, it's Raiven in a dark silver bodysuit. She starts out on the floor, and her movements spark of pulsing graphics on the LED floor. She's joined by 5 contemporary dancers in nude bodysuits who perform a complex routine of intertwining bodies. And the whole performance has a very similar feel to the official video, ethereal, but also very dramatic. Ethereal is such a popular word to use as a descriptor here at Eurovision. And those high notes at the end take the roof off. It's the first pyro of the day. It's low fog and wind for Slovenia, which just adds to the drama, which reminds me a little bit, of course, of Serbia yesterday. So let me bring up the gallery real quick here, and then we can talk it through. Hold on 2 hot seconds. Share. So that's her outfit. She looks stunning, but that's probably not a surprise because she could show up in a garbage bag and looks amazing. So that must be hard to breathe. There is a nude bodysuit indeed. I was like, come on, can you use a different descriptor? But no, that sounds about right. Okay, there. The dancers are doing some reminds me of Roxanne a little bit, maybe. Maybe I shouldn't. So they're only wearing underwear, basically. Okay, so kind of like what, in the music video, as they say here. She's sitting on the floor. Okay. It's very blue.
It's very bright.
It is. Lots of, it's blue and just white. Yeah. Well, I think it's at least the moments right there. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be either really dark or quite bright there. Oh, and she's doing a little.
Well, we also don't know when those pictures are taken, of course.
Exactly.
I think the brightness would work at the end of the song, but not at the start. You have to sort of you must go to a journey and have a climax somewhere, right?
Yeah, that is true.
It does
let me
feel
bring
like
in.
it's in that, I suppose, isn't it? It does feel
full
like
house
it's
here
Hello.
today.
Hi,
Hey,
Jonathan.
my friend.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you all doing today?
We are doing fantastic. So glad that so many people are here today. Full house. We have a lot to talk about, actually. So let's continue the conversation. We are actually talking about Slovenia right now. Have you looked at the pictures and the TikTok of Iceland yet, Jonathan?
I've seen the TikTok of Iceland, yes, and I have seen the pictures as well, yeah.
Okay,
the
so
one
you're up to
I'm
speed.
caught up to is Moldova with the pictures, so I don't know if...
You're way ahead of me.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry, I just saw a picture of Fahree's outfit.
Of whose outfit?
Azerbaijan's.
Oh, Fahree. Sorry, yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So that is what we've seen so far. Let's get a quick round here, just real quick. Your thoughts, Daniel. What are your thoughts looking at Slovenia's staging based on the pictures?
I suppose it's very difficult not to compare it with Bambi Thug, because I suppose they're vying for the same kind of vibe, witchy vibe. This feels less witchy, which might sort of work to its advantage, maybe. I do feel perhaps that if there was a jury in this if there was a jury, and it would probably do quite well in terms of the jury, but with just a televote, I'm just a bit unsure. But I do really like the song personally, and I do think she looks amazing. So, but I'm undecided. I don't know. It could go either way.
Yes. So your thoughts, Alexandros, on this one?
Well, for me, the same. Like, I like the outfit. I like the staging, the photos, not the staging, because we don't know how the whole thing works. But I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like the song. I'm trying to listen to the song, trying to like it. I'm still not there, but like, these pictures are good so far. So let's see.
Yeah, I think it's kind of with Slovenia, when I say it's expected, it's not an insult. It is, almost like a compliment, because I think they know what they're doing. I think they know the vibe of the song, and they stick close to the music video, and I think this will work on stage. I have the similar concerns that two of you voiced in terms of qualification, but I think they kind of got the idea and they know what they're doing with the staging. It now just comes down to whether or not this will click with the televoters. Jonathan, what are your thoughts on Slovenia? The picture.
Well, I love the song, first of all. I really, really wanted to qualify. And those photos are not what I expected. I don't really know what I don't really know what I expected, to be honest. But something with the colors and the outfit is not right sitting with me. And it's borderline to begin with. And it would be so disappointing if she will miss out because of that. But I am hoping that the camera angles fix it and those pictures are nothing compared to what the actual product will be on stage, and overall we'll get like a really good show. But based on those pictures, it's really, really hard to judge.
All right. Boris, just based on the pictures, do you have anything else to add? Or
I was hoping for something more visionary, but I also feel like pictures are really deceptive sometimes. Like when Czechia's pictures came out last year, I was not very convinced that Vesna would actually come together, and they ended up coming together very much. They were second on my list when all the dust settled for 2023. So I don't feel the idea, kind of, but maybe it looks really good in motion. We don't know when the pictures are taken. We do not know. There's so much that I still do not know, and it's going to factor into my opinion of it overall. I love the song. I think it's in my top 10. It's one of my favorite songs in this year. She has been on my wish list for Slovenia for many, many years, ever since Zažarim. So I really hope they can come together. Like more than ever, I'm really hoping that Slovenia can pull through as an underdog and qualify. And that's the only desire that I have for this entire year. I don't care about anything else, really.
I'm putting a poll in the chat as well to see if people, based on the first impression, it's very important what you say, Boris, as well, is that everything that we say today and throughout the first couple of rounds is only based on the song and the first impression. Very important. We don't know exactly when those pictures were taken, what the camera angle will look like, and the whole flow. So unlike previous years where we had more insight, we don't have that, but we don't want to just not talk about it either. So
the description that accompanies the pictures is actually pretty optimistic for me. Like it fills me with a little bit of hope, but I don't want to get my hopes too much up. Like visually, what I can discern is not too impressive, but the person who wrote the description clearly likes it and clearly thinks it is good. So it could be anything.
But don't they have to be quite positive or like kind of neutral in those descriptions?
Well, they have to be positive / neutral. They're neutral through their positivity, right? But even so, if you have,
it cannot be negative.
If the description itself sounds good, more likely than not, it's going to look good or be good. They would use different words if it wasn't good.
So according to the poll here in the chat, 45% of our audience believes that Slovenia will qualify. 54% thinks not. So it's a little bit, as we said, borderline. Right now, it continues to be like borderline qualifier / non-qualifier. So Slovenia fans or Slovenians, you got to keep sweating a little bit longer, apparently, because nobody can really agree on what's going to happen.
It was a coin flip before today. It still is a coin flip. So
it didn't like lean anyway. Okay, so and we're going to go in more detail in a minute. I just want to go through what we've had so far. So let's talk about Finland real quick. So Finland, we all know, Windows 95, man, no rules. Let me read this real quick. Fans of the winning UMK performance will be delighted to hear that the Denim Egg Show has made it to Malmö, along with the Just Within the Rules Nudity, a song we can perform, hopefully secured with more than a couple of clippy paper clips, Tiny Jorts and Henry's Pispanen's high notes. In fact, this pretty much a cut and paste of their UMK staging, but with even more processing power and a cloudy LED wall that's giving 90s screensaver. Listeners to the official podcast will know that the backing dancers in this performance are inspired by Timu's love for Gina G's Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit. So Windows 95 inspired by Eurovision 96. And Pyro update can confirm that handheld fireworks and edgy smoke have returned. Photos coming soon. The photos already up. So I'm going to jump to that next, and then we can talk about it. Since it's going to be apparently very similar to what we see in the national final, I don't expect any major surprises. So let's go. Okay.
Oh wow,
let's just move on.
Already.
I know, like the very
yes, let's move on immensely.
First picture.
Let's just say it was a choice to post this one.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Moldova?
There is the.
I do have a thing about the logo. I mean, so are they sort of going with it and then they're kind of fuzzing it out? Is that what they're doing?
Either that or is the shirt itself blurred?
The shirt itself is blurred.
Yeah, then you're not allowed to kind of, because it's actually the brand, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's why they're blurring it out. So I guess from a legal perspective, all you have to do is blur it out and you're good.
Remember when Microsoft saw the blurring of the shirt on the official video and then proceeded to blur out Windows 95 Man and unblurring the logo? That was funny.
Blur the blur.
I was hoping they would do that.
That's funny.
That would have improved it by a lot.
Yeah.
Just
so,
blurring it out.
oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Let's just say.
Okay.
That's sorry.
I guess.
I'm a little high school girl giggling here. The backdrop is really cool. And it's like the whole thing here. You know. I gotta go. I gotta stop this. So, all right, let's be all serious here, because I mean, honestly, I think our reaction is exactly what they wanted to get out of people, right? So I think it's almost mission accomplished. I'm sorry, I have to go to Johan Hans first because this is his face.
What?
There seems some you were mortified, weren't you?
I didn't get it in the national final, and I don't get it now. I mean, I guess it's a crowd pleaser, and it's going to let free, like, ooh, it's a wow factor. It's nudity, but it's not. But really, is that what we're about now? I don't know. I'm not feeling it at all. I liked that one backdrop photo of the clouds near the egg. That was pretty. But yeah, I don't know why this song is so much up in the odds for qualification, because I don't get it. But apparently there is an audience for it. I'm not the audience.
Fair, though. Have you seen the second half?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know why it's so high in the betting odds. I mean, in the qualification ones, because number one, it's catchy and it's memorable. People will remember it. There's a reason why it won the Finnish national final by a healthy margin. So I'm not saying I agree with Natalie the choice, but I know why it is so high up there. Alexandros, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, because I've seen many people say about the song and about the performance that they don't like it, or they don't like the staging. Personally, it's not my favorite. But I have to say that we cannot forget that last year, Croatia had the same thing. And it qualified for the grand final. Let 3 was last year, right? Let 3?
Yeah, it was last year.
Okay. So they had like almost the same outfits at the end of their performance. It was the same thing. So even though it's not my favorite, we have to see that these patterns are going to now also maybe qualify the song. So
okay. Boris, do you have anything else to add, or you kind of agree with nothing? The staging itself, I would think, hasn't changed your mind, because it's virtually
it's qualifying because it is in the second half. I think the main problem with this song is that it's immensely cringe, and it knows that it's cringe, but it's still really fucking cringe, and that's the problem with the song. Really, that's the reason why I think it's going to bomb really badly once it's in the final. But it will reach the final. There's nothing like it in that entire half. And the second half looks a little bit more amateur, more, cheaper. I feel like if Finland was in the first half of the semi, they would have a really bad time qualifying because they would be surrounded by things like Ukraine, by Croatia, even by things like Serbia, Lithuania. Like they would be surrounded by the really strong entries in the semi, and they would stand out as weaker. But flanked by Slovenia, who could be really good, right? But it's still Slovenia, a country that is notoriously bullied at Eurovision, and Moldova, a country that is notoriously low budget at Eurovision. They're probably going to stand out a little bit more. But I don't know. I think they're in. I'm going to just assume that. I'm just going to assume that they're going to have a Ryback-like result of high televote in the semi and then almost nothing in terms of score in the final.
Yeah, I shouldn't go last all the time because you stole all my thunder here. I would have basically almost copy-pasted your comments here. I think you nailed it, especially on the second half comment.
That's nice.
I know. And the chat agreed with you as well. They called Boris saying facts here. Now, I think you nailed it. But I understand where Jonathan's coming from in terms of why, But there is a market for it. And I know there are a lot of songs that I'm I don't get it. But I know why it's doing well. It is eye-catching for maybe the wrong reasons. But it is. And honestly, there is some catchiness to the chorus, right? If you were to put out all the novelty stuff that we're talking about with the underwear stuff, the chorus itself isn't bad. It's a catchy melody. So if it was only put everything aside and think about the chorus, you wouldn't hate it as much, right? If you only had that. I'm not saying it's the most amazing.
I don't know. I think just fundamentally, it's just an old millennial doing incredibly cringe Zoomer TikTok-y stuff. And
okay,
I feel
you're calling me
maybe...
out right now here.
No. Yeah, but you're not doing Zoomer TikTok-y stuff, right? I don't know how old exactly you are, but Temo turns 40 this year, and he still has to get by with toilet.
I am
humor.
an old millennial.
At a certain point, you just have to move on with your life.
Yeah. I'm a very, very old millennial. Daniel, any other thoughts?
I actually hated it when I first heard it. And I mean, I did think when I saw it live, I did actually think, oh, this is actually, I do imagine if you're sort of not watch Eurovision and you just sort of click onto the semi-finals and watching that, and you're you don't really care about certain sort of sensitivities, musical sensitivities, then I'm guessing you would sort of just vote it because it is that Eurovision, what Eurovision is, what they expect from Eurovision, I guess. And I suppose, and also there's something I kind of did think about what you said, Boris, about in the final. Mm-hmm. I think his vocals are a bit patchy, one of the guys, I think. So
Henry's. Yeah, his falsetto is not always as consistent.
Exactly. So I kind of feel like he might get penalized by jury votes if they get many jury votes anyway. But
I think it's the humor that's going to penalize him, or the lack thereof.
But as soon as the whole fire thing comes on, I just feel that's a really big kind of game changer in terms of elevating into the more crazier territory. So it's really, I don't see it not qualifying personally. I just,
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I just to reiterate, for me, it's I'd be even fine qualifying because the chorus is catchy, but I don't think it's necessarily the most innovative piece. But once again, if it wins the televote by landslide in Finland, why wouldn't there be a market out there? It's not necessarily very Finnish either. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah. It's not just oh, this is only the Finns will get it. No, there is something there. We all love a train wreck, right? We all love this campy novelty thing, and no, we all. But there is a market out there for that.
The main problem, though, is that the Netherlands completely outclasses Finland in every aspect. Also,
yeah, but that's a discussion for the final.
Yeah, that's for the
final.
Let's
we forget Croatia as well is also going for a more kind of novelty, not fully, but kind of novelty act, and it's much stronger than Finland. So
it is a better song. Yes, I would say so.
It's lower on the novelty side, though, so Finland could take it there.
Croatia could get carried by its melody and by its message, whereas I don't think Finland could.
66% in our chat actually believe also Finland is going to qualify. I didn't ask the question if they like the song. There's always a different story. We can do more polls later. I just want to get some easy feel, see how people... So, Gantia, there's not a maybe right now. It's only yes or no by a show of hand. Is Finland going to qualify, yes or no? Raise your hand if you think. So Alexandros is the only one who still sticks to his gun and says Finland will not make the cut. I know
hope he's
this
right.
is only based on that could change when you see the whole work. I get all that. There's always a disclaimer there, but so it's 4-1 right now on that. And I think on Iceland it was 0-5. I mean, let's just do it because you went there for Iceland. One more time for Iceland and Slovenia. So Iceland. Who thinks Iceland is going to qualify? Raise your hand. No, you have to make a choice first. You have to, yes or no.
If I have to choose, it's no.
So once again, Alexandra is the wild card here. 4-1. Slovenia. Is Slovenia going to qualify? Raise your hand.
I have to believe. I am obliged by
Daniel
contract
and I
to
are on the
support
same page
Slovenia.
and everything right now. So 3 say no, 2 say yes. That's again, it's the wild card here. Which makes it so fun.
What is Slovenia on the odds? Do we know?
I think they're 11.
Around half. They're 10th, I think, now, currently.
10th? Okay, I haven't checked.
Let me look it up.
They go back between 10 and 11, I think. So it's always up and down there.
Portugal just overtook them for 11th. They're 12th.
Yeah, why was Portugal not in the 10? Why was Portugal not in the 10 to begin with?
I
Did you
have
hear
no
the song?
clue. It's such a clear qualifier.
Yeah, I know. I
Well-
think Serbia has a much rougher patch into the semi than into the final than Portugal does.
Yeah,
I think the reason, though, is that Serbia is going into the semi with quite a few guaranteed points, so people had
20, yes.
Yeah. But hey, last time 37 was enough to make the cut, so...
Plus, if the higher your odds are, the more likely you get a good running order now with the producer-chosen grand final for the most part. So, of course, people put money down.
Is that a fact?
I mean, this producer-chosen running order, this shit has to stop. This is just bullshit. Come
I know,
on
so
now.
I didn't mean
Bring
to
back
open
the
the
random
can
draw.
But I'm
Like, if
still
you're good enough
traumatized
to
by
win
that rule.
Eurovision, you should win it from slot number 2 or 3. Period.
But
If you're a
I'm
worthy
guessing
winner.
also they're probably thinking about props and stuff, aren't they? And all that kind of stuff. So
That's true.
Corruption,
We can talk
please.
about that in
Letting
length.
Christer
I have
handpick everything,
plenty
that
of
is not
opinions.
corruption. Okay, then.
well, yeah.
All right, let's move on to Moldova real quick. We all know Natalia Barbu. She represented Moldova in 2007 in a very tough semi because, as you may recall, those who know history, there were 27 countries in that semi. We only had 1 at that point, and only 10 of them made it. It was crazy. I remember that. And she was one of them. And now she's back with In the Middle, and the staging has a static routine, what we saw at the national final Moldova, with hand claps and armography and a wide violin. Sorry, I have to burp from all my coffee. But Natalia is no longer flanked by backing singers. She's entirely alone in front of a beautiful backdrop of seascapes and trees and flowers and butterflies. During the violin section, the LED wall turns to huge wings. So when viewed from the front, Natalia looks like an angel. It's completely different from anything we've seen on stage so far in 2024, and really clever. And of course, Natalia hits every of those high notes. And then they had lunchtime. So that's about it. Let's jump right into picture time. Share me screen. Ta-da. Oops. One more time. Ta-da. Okay. That's her waving. So it's, as I said, it's only her. So
Yeah, this looks like Moldova.
it does look like Moldova.
Better than expected. That is the usual Moldova special.
Yeah, so they may definitely change. I mean, that's a nice shot there actually with the wings.
Where
But,
are all her backing violinists?
They got rid of him. That's what they said. Like they decided.
Also, didn't add anything. Why did she need to have 5 clones that were mouthing off when they weren't singing, like pretending to play the violin badly while they weren't playing the violin at all? Like,
She has
why
a
did she need the
really pretty
clones?
backdrop. Look at this. This is gorgeous.
Yeah,
And
these
This
LEDs.
is giving like ChatGPT made these complimentary. That was a compliment. That is a really
I was like,
pretty background.
That's the most
Backhanded
backhanded compliment I've ever heard.
I know. I'm
No,
like,
it's like, you know, all of those like Instagram feed that is blown with all of those AI made pictures. These are the pictures. It's really good.
Okay, I have to remember that compliment so that I can use it later.
it's like one of those compliments. I remember I made a salad. My friend was like, "Oh, it tastes like the one from McDonald's." I'm like, "How dare you?" She said, "No, it's a compliment. I love that one." I'm like,
Have you ever tasted a
it.
salad from McDonald's though? Come on now.
I was like, "That's an insult." No, I love the McDonald's salad. And I'm like, Okay, I'll let that go.
Yeah.
See,
Anyways.
Jonathan is just a clever boy who really just likes computers and AI and algorithms
Alright.
and numbers.
Too much numbers.
Can we point out
Mathematicians are strange, yo.
that I
Yeah.
hate her too?
I
'Cause
agree.
she looks gorgeous. You know, I'm like, I hate pretty people. I'm jealous. All right, so
Do you hate yourself?
Oh. I like that.
That is gorgeous. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
will say this. I think I'll go first because I always go last. It seems like. I really like the staging. What I see so far in terms of backdrops. Of course, we have to see how it flows. I mean, I understand, Boris. Like the dancers didn't add much, but I kind of like the idea of having like the mimicking stuff, but it just wasn't done effectively in the Moldovan because it was like almost like they're gonna mimic her what she's doing, but it just seems like awkward on there. So I would have liked if they would have cleaned it up more because I like the idea of having copycats on there, but I think they just knew it just didn't look right. So what they've done, I think it looks good, and I don't necessarily think I'm going to change my opinion in terms of qualification for Moldova because I think it's still. And I'm sorry if there are any Moldovan fans out there, DOA, unless it really looks so amazing that's going to be like Sand Lady in Ukraine 2011 kind of moment. But I think the song, even this one, is not, even with that, is just not strong enough. So I do like the staging, though, from what I've seen. And I think the only, it's one of, definitely, if I have to summarize it later on, I think it will be one that will stick with me because it is really pretty. I still don't think I'm going to change my opinion about qualification yet. Boris, what do you think?
Yeah, the song is just kind of like, the basic ethnic mega mix that you would find on a Balkanica album. It's, it's not a particularly inspiring song and there's only so much you can do with it. But what they're doing with it is good. It looks gorgeous. I think the main idea behind the song is that she's singing it for someone that she loves, like maybe a child or something like that. And she wants to bask in like maternal love for her child and wants it to be happy. Kind of like how Tamara and Proud went, right? But and I think making it look gorgeous and pretty and wholesome is definitely the way to go with a song like that, rather than making it look really creepy like it was in the national final. It was a little bit unsettling to have 4 clones of her that added nothing. So I think this staging works. It's just how high is the ceiling for that song? It's not very inspiring. It does have a couple of things that work for it. Will that be enough to get
We have to
points?
wait and see, yeah. Alexander, so I'm handing it over to you, but I'm also going to throw the question in from the chat. The stage just looks too empty. Nothing about these pictures have changed my opinion that Moldova is DOA. Alexander, do you feel it's empty as well, or what are your thoughts on what you just saw?
I was gonna say that indeed the stage feels empty. For me personally, I like the song, so maybe I'm the only one who likes the song here. I feel like the dancers are a mess. Like I miss having the dancers and the hand choreo that they did with the whole thing. Now about the static performance and the whole thing, I like that they added effects and there is something on the background and it has something, but I don't know. Like the dancers for me is a big downgrade.
Okay, so I'm going to jump back to Slovenia real quick because the TikTok's out. So let's take a look.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, we know the song. This is all.
Raiven, and I represent Slovenia at this year's Eurovision. And I'm super excited to go on stage. I'm actually surprisingly calm also.
Okay, just copyright here. So we'll put it back on when we get those 10 seconds on. This is all just still the studio stuff. So she's sitting there. We get a good amount this time.
Okay, I have 2 things to comment there.
No, you go first.
I think they don't do enough with the lighting. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more contrast with the lighting and the spotlight they put on there, especially when the chorus is being sung, which is a very dramatic chorus. And secondly, I do think this can work if they frame it really, really well, because I can definitely imagine certain camera angles capturing the drama really with what's going on the stage. So I really hope that whoever the camera director is, I believe it's Sasha Jean-Baptiste this year, but I'm not sure, really knows how to frame that song, because that is going to be very important. They're really doing their best, but it definitely needs the camera support in order to get the vibe across. And if they do, then I think they're in. And if they're not, then... But the vocals sound good too.
Natalia, your thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I pretty much agree with that. We've seen in the beginning that there is this shot where she is lying on the floor and she's looking to the side. So she's definitely switching between camera angles, which is good. I want to see like dynamic cuts from different angles, and she'll be looking at them and trying to, I don't know, tell this story somehow. And I think that the dancers really bring it to life, because like when they lift her in the end, that ending, that looks really good. And obviously her vocals sounded amazing as we expected. Yeah, I like it, but again, very, very scared. Very scared.
I know I'm jumping back and forth between topics here. Just for a quick poll set for Moldova now. 75% say no, but still... About 1 in 4 people still think Moldova will qualify.
It's the same argument. It's the same argument as Iceland. The second half is so uncompetitive. At least 3 will qualify. Why would Moldova be dead on arrival?
Yeah. Then let's do just real quick show of hands. There's only yes or no. There's no maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Is Moldova going to qualify? If you think yes, raise your hand. No. Okay, I was hoping like one hand. Okay, this is the first unanimous decision here that Moldova, as of right now, is not going to qualify. I'm going to hand it to you, Daniel. Real thoughts on the Slovenia clip. Do you agree with what has been said?
I'm going to be honest. I got nothing from it. To be
really?
Honest. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I wasn't getting a whole picture at all from. I mean, this is like looking at just what you saw on the screen, not even on my phone. I just didn't really get much. I don't know. It sounded good. So I'll give it that, but I don't want to. I don't know. I'm a bit uncomfortable to give an opinion when I didn't sort of feel that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my answer. Yeah,
it's suffices. Yes, I will say the only thing I'm getting nervous, but that's because I feel like I think you were there with me. No, that was the following year. No, wait, was it the year after? Were you there with me during Roxanne, Boris? In Romania?
I was writing an article directly opposite you, if that's what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean like in general that year, right? You were in the press center with me. I'm only
Yes, of course. I was sitting directly opposite you.
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm getting a little bit I want to say this. She is feels like a Roxanne that can sing a little bit in this performance, because there's a lot of these interpretive dancers singing and the lifting. She's doing all that stuff. It sounds perfect, like vocally from what I hear, it sounds really good. But I get the visuals, I get that in this interpretive dancing, so that's why I always go back to that. Like I'm like, oh, but then I just have PTSD from the Romania performance. I think. The difference is she sounds amazing, from what I'm hearing. So that's not also a fair comparison.
I think the dancers suit the act also if you frame it really well, because you need some form of dramatic and some form of momentum, but it does not have to overwhelm the song, which was the problem that Roxanne had. It had like very beautiful visuals and very beautiful choreography and like catchphrases being spewed at you, self-love, amnesia, but it didn't distract from the fact that the song was really fucking forgettable. Whoops. So yeah, it wasn't
fine on here.
It was a song that was carried entirely by its act, and I think the real comparison in this semi so far, I would say, is probably Moldova, which is also a song that will be largely carried by the way it is presented. But we'll see.
I wanted to give my thoughts on Moldova. I kind of agree with you, Matt. I'd actually thought what we had in the Moldovan final was actually much better than this. And I guess, yes, sort of finessing it, but I feel like that's all just stripped away and it's just become like this song. I do think the chorus of the song there's something there to the chorus. But there was a severity before which I thought kind of worked a little bit. I don't know. It just sort of, even though they weren't playing violins and they probably only one or two of them were doing backing vocals, but it just looked a bit. It was something quite different, and it would have stood out. Whereas now, I don't know, just you need someone really, really strong and sort of vocally, and be able to completely sort of be able to, you know, arrest you on the stage and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was also hoping potentially like a revamp of the song, on because I feel like it was instrumentally not necessarily a strong song, so that's what I was hoping for, but we never got that, unfortunately. So let's just real quick, and then we can go ahead real quick.
Oh, that was exactly what I was thinking when the song was selected. Like, I was waiting for that music video with a good revamp that we'll all get, and you will be able to prove anyone wrong, because everyone wrote it down from the beginning. And I said, don't write off Moldova. They have good revamps and good stagings, and they will qualify. And with each passing day, that dream just kept delaying, never arrived, and we're here today.
Well, the thing with Moldova is that they sometimes do not get it together. But I do feel like there's like the last time they failed to make a final, they also only sort of got it together, but then they were brought down by the song not being optimal. If this is the same journey, it's the same journey.
Yeah, it is.
And
gotta
good point
give them the fact that they made the wings not look cringy, and wings always look cringy on the Eurovision stage. So
it's been done before. Let's
when
put
was
it that
the last
way.
time we had wings?
I think that Rocco, which was rough.
Oh yeah. Let's not think about that one. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Actually, I did think about what Joe S said now. I did think maybe they just didn't bring the singers because of budget, which makes complete sense.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's they don't have a budget to bring those other people from the NF to the stage in Malmo. So Moldova that sucks so bad. They cannot even have like basically just model stand there, you know, and clap. That's too expensive already. That is unfortunate that they're at that point with Moldova.
She has money though. Like Natalia Barbu, I believe, married pretty wealthy. She's married to a millionaire, I recall, according to her wiki page, which she might or might not have written herself. Like, you know.
But you don't want to maybe put your own person. Do you want to put money down? Fine. You know, she does.
I mean, what budget does TVM have?
Yeah.
Also, people are correcting us in the chat that Tix was actually the last act to have wings, which is correct. I did forget that. Sorry.
Oh, yes. That is
no
true.
way. No way.
Yeah, but that one suited it because the title of the song was literally Fallen Angel. So yeah.
Didn't Sergei Lazarev also had wings in his 2016 performance? I know it was years ago, but I think there was some wings as well, right? When he did the posing on the screen.
Yeah, but that was an act that tried way too hard.
Well, I don't know. The fact that they won the televote, I may disagree with this one. But let's move on real quick.
That's only part of the game, televote. There's also jury votes.
Azerbaijan here, real quick here, because there's a description at least. So time for Azerbaijan with Fahree performing da 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 da. This is just fluff and comes together to create mix of traditional. Okay, Fahree's outfit is black and silver and gives off an armored vibe, and Ilkin is in black and with sparkly sleeves. For most of the song, Fahree is alone in the center of the stage, backed with monochrome graphics that show an animated figure slowly emerging from water. In the second half of two cupped hands appear on stage, so Fahree can sing the final verse and chorus standing between them. This is really a difficult performance to describe in words because it's less about the individual staging elements and more about the powerful atmosphere they create together. A combination of shadowy lighting, graphics contrasting, vocals, and Fahree's expressive body movement. The pictures aren't out. Let me double refresh real quick here. No pictures yet for Azerbaijan.
There are a couple on Twitter. I can send them to you through the Discord.
Okay, Discord again. I'm so bad at Discord. No, I can't, because Discord is on my iPad only. I don't have it on my computer because I haven't.
Yeah, wait. I can. What do I do with this? Do I just paste them in chat? I don't know.
Yeah, you can paste them in chat if you like.
Yeah, sure. Discord chat or YouTube chat?
YouTube chat.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see whether I can do that.
Yeah, see if you can do that.
Oh, wait,
I know there's some allow links in there, so I don't know.
Well, I'll just paste the hyperlink, then everyone knows what my YouTube name is, but oh well.
Well, if you thought we had a full house, think again. I got somebody else waiting in the queue here. Hang on one second.
Yasmin was going to join us. Gabe
There
was
he
going to join
is.
us.
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Can you hear us?
Hey, Yasmin.
Hello.
Yes, I hear you.
Wonderful. Wow, that's really a full house here. I love it. Jasmine, we have not seen you on camera yet. I think your camera froze right now. Is it just me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Rest in peace, Yasmin. We never knew you.
Yeah. Let's give it a second here to see if it unfreezes. But while we're waiting, do you want to just introduce yourself because it's your first time on the live stream?
Yes, sure. For me, it's not frozen, but oh well. So hello everyone. I'm Yasmin, also known as ESC Victor 08. I'm from Croatia, and I'm a Eurovision fan since 2008, something like that. That's pretty
What's your
much
favorite
it.
song of the year? Like,
What's my favorite?
The favorites this year, yeah, so people can.
This year, Norway, Croatia, and Slovenia.
Okay. All right, that's good. So I'm gonna remove you real quick and bring you back in, see if that fixes the freezing camera. Give me one second. No, your camera's frozen, so you may have to restart your camera real quick for us.
We'll just do with his disembodied voice.
Yeah, no, right now it's okay. It happens. That kind of stuff happens. So while we're waiting for him to for Jasmine to restart, Alexandros, based on the description that we've heard from Azerbaijan, what are your thoughts?
I was really intrigued by the description, and as you were saying, like the outfit, the staging, and all that. But I saw a picture from the app, from the Eurovision app of the outfit, and it's a different story. I don't know, but I want to see the staging. The outfit, I'm not so sure.
He kind of looks like a Power Ranger, Fahree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, based on the description, Jonathan, what are your thoughts on Azerbaijan right now?
Well, I hope that they keep it magical and intimate like they described. I've also seen the outfit and I am slightly confused, but I think that it should work. Azerbaijan usually knows what they're doing. Like, even if it's a non-qualifier, the stagings are good. Like, I take Iceland, for example. That staging was really good, in my opinion, at least. So I have good hope for them, but I don't know if it's enough to make them qualify.
Okay. Just by show of hands, who likes the Azerbaijani song like this year? Oh, so everybody actually likes it because you don't hear.
I don't mind.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of like talk or hype around it, the betting odds including, and the fan polls. I always thought that Azerbaijani song is actually really, really beautiful, and it's one of the ones I love listening to on the couch when I put it on. It's so soothing and calming to me. It's not always necessarily when you say most competitive, it's like, is this the kind of song that people would pick up the phone and vote for it? But I find it very, very beautiful, and I love the traditional aspects to it. So I would vote for it if I could. The staging, it sounds as to me the way they describe it, because I said it seems like it's all about the camera work here. So when we see the pictures and even the TikTok in particular, we're going to be like, this looks boring. But once you see the camera work, it is there was one country in particular that happened before last year. I can't think of it which one it was, where like the pictures look like meh, but then you saw the camera work and it's like, okay, here we go.
Was it Czechia?
Yeah, Czechia was one of them. Yeah, yes, but there was another one. I wasn't particular.
Wait, I have to think about that one too.
Yeah, there was one. Okay, Jess,
I know
can you hear us?
Yeah, it moves.
Yes. We can see you now. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Everything works now.
Yes. We're different. We have not a vertical view of you, but it's fine. We'll manage. It's not a problem. So we got your introduction, and we just wanted to ask you as well for today. We already talked about rehearsals. Which one is the rehearsals today that you were looking forward to the most?
The most, well, absolutely Slovenia, because it's in my top 3. And then I would say I'm mostly curious about Australia, not necessarily because it's my favorite, but because I'm curious about what they're going to do. We don't know really anything about it.
Yeah.
And we can only speculate. And we've known that Australia is very good at staging. So that's the one I'm looking forward now the most.
it's very interesting because almost everyone says Australia because they're so mysterious and quiet about it. So it seems like everyone is curious, regardless of what they may think of the song. So you are saying you are a big fan of Slovenia. You were really looking forward to it. I assume, have you watched the TikTok and the pictures yet?
I've seen the pictures only, and I will be honest, as I always am. I was a bit, worried at first because the description that I read in the blog gave me some ideas or visions what that might look like, and the pictures didn't really connect with that vision. So I'm still confident in it, but I'm not sure what it's going to look like in the actual video and in the performance.
Yeah, so so you have not seen the TikTok yet, right? Because it's out.
No, I haven't.
You may want to check it out on the side. We showed it earlier. So you know what's going on.
I can link it for you in the Discord.
Yeah, and I know Aussie Rose posted it a few times as well.
Sure, it's all the way.
So the what was I going to say? Just for Jasmine to know, the audience was split as well here. I think it was like 45-55, a no to yes split kind of thing. So it's like it's like just like the picture book borderline qualifier / non. It's like the one that's really fighting for it. Now I'll not watch them easily qualify, but it's as of right now that's people's perception. And you know,
I like the backdrop actually that they're going for with like the woman just clawing towards him. I believe the title of the song Özünlə, apar also translates to "Come with me," so I feel like that is very fitting to the song. And I kind of wish Slovenia had that backdrop. So could you please swap backdrops, please, so that Slovenia can qualify? Take one for the team, Azerbaijan. You have too many qualifications already.
Yeah, and Daniel, I'm trying to remember if I asked you that earlier because I know you. Yeah, no, I did ask this question. Never mind. So. Oh, Jasmine's what? Because I was going to ask who was your biggest surprise yesterday. Did I ask you that question earlier?
Yeah, I said Ukraine.
Ukraine, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When Jasmine is back, I'm going to ask him the same question as well. Who was his biggest surprise?
Isn't he back? He's back.
He's listening to probably the TikTok clip right now. I wasn't sure.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't want to interrupt him.
I've linked him the clip.
I also did like the Croatia because I mean I understand the hype around Croatia, but I wasn't rating the final in the Croatian finals, his appearance there, and I was a bit like, I know there's a lot of buzz around it, but the live just wasn't right for me. And I feel like yesterday, even from that clip, it did feel a little bit that he's more sharper, I guess.
I also remember you saying at a certain point, Daniel, that you didn't really like the
chorus. Yeah, I still have a problem with the chorus. Yeah,
with the lazy and lame-ish. I don't agree with that, but like that's your.
No, I mean, totally. Think it, and it's that also. I have a problem a little bit with but that's just sort of lost in translation. The English and the way it's used in the song. So that was.
Let us prance like a horse in a field.
Or my anxiety attacks or something like that. It was I just wasn't sure about the lyrical choices. But there's so many songs with really bad lyrics.
I think
that must stop the successful to succeed.
I think my main gripe with Croatia.
That's not a success at all, but it's just more like. Sorry?
I think my main gripe with Croatia with rehearsal footage is the hair. Slicked back is not as good as the messy hair he had.
Oh, really?
He makes it look a little bit like a vampire, I think. It's not really the vibe. Like, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people out there who would like to have him suck their blood, but I'm not one of them.
By the way, people in the chat, real quick, if you want to ask, we're somewhat caught up a little bit here. Things are still coming up, of course. You can ask questions, the team, someone specifically, but when you do, please make sure so we can put them on screen at ESC United. So now you're talking to us directly. So that is basically what is. So I want to ask you, Daniel, real quick as well, because you weren't here yesterday, your thoughts about Cyprus, since that's like your country of origin.
Is it?
Were you happy, sad? What were your thoughts when you saw the rehearsal?
I don't know. I didn't really like her outfit that much. I did think vocally she's better than I thought. I thought it would be really bad vocally, but it's actually, she kind of hit the right notes and everything. I didn't get the whole picture, but I kind of wanted a bit more, but then again, I didn't get the whole picture, as with each song. So but maybe the outfit was a bit sort of basic, but I don't know. But we'll see. that's
There's
what
only
I say.
so much that you can do with a cypress, though, right? Because, like, what else are you going to do than sing and dance at the same time and have dances?
Totally, and that's why I think.
Like, what else are you going to do with that song? Like, are you going to are you going to hoist it up in the air by chains and then like set her alight? No, you're not going to do that. And it also can't be too sexy because she's still a minor. So you have to sort of like the clip also presents Celia as like not really being sexy, but rather some sort of a guardian angel protecting women from their cheating boyfriends, which is also
older.
a little bit convoluted.
But
like,
it's just
there's only so much that you can do with that performer and that song. Like, what else are you going to do than dance and be fun?
I want to go back to Jasmine real quick because first two questions. So, did you watch the clip of Slovenia? What are your thoughts on the TikTok? Do you feel better, worse, the same?
I feel good because it's exactly what I love. So it's my taste, it's my style. I absolutely love what I saw, but I'm still concerned. I've heard the high notes. She's having no problems with that, so that makes me extra happy. And I'm still hoping that she can qualify, even though she has competition with Portugal and Serbia. But I think it's distinct enough to grab some audience and qualify.
Okay, that's good. And I want to ask another question real quick, since, you know, it's good to have a Croatian on call here. How does it feel after so many years? Like, people going insane over your song, you're doing so on the betting odds. What was going through your mind lately the last few weeks and months, and like especially right now?
It is kind of surreal, but also I will admit that I was in this state in 2021, and we all know what happened back then. This year, I think we are in the final. I believe I can say so. I don't know. People are already here talking about the hosting and everything. I'm still not sold on that. I would love to host everyone in Zagreb, but I'm happy with our song. I'm happy with the whole story. I was a bit bitter at the beginning because of the whole national final drama and situation, but I think the result is great. The improvements are visible. He's been working with a vocal coach, maybe the most famous and the biggest vocal coach in Croatia. So I think he'll be fine vocally as well. And I'm loving the outfit. I've seen some people criticizing the outfit. I think it's good. It showcases the tradition a little bit, but it's also not super traditional. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm feeling happy, and we'll see how it will end up.
Perfect. So I'm sharing the pictures for Azerbaijan right now. So as you can see, that's the outfit.
Oh my god!
It looks very Future-Tron-like. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, the backdrop. That picture is. It's almost like what's that? That Jason, like the slasher thing. You know, the murder.
This is what I meant with. Oh, I wish Slovenia had that backdrop, because can you imagine Veronika with that?
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty though.
Tell me that is not Raiven modeling in the background though.
It's not, probably, but I guess. She's sabotaging herself.
It's 2019, girl.
Okay, so there's what is that in the back behind them? Is that a big hand? Like, these are fingers, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Okay. So it looks like, as I almost predicted, super empty, because, you know, it's just him. But this is all. Oh no, see, man, with the hands around, so there is a little bit more texture there. Go ahead.
Is that real? It looks like a camera effect, although they don't show us camera effect, so it has to be real.
No, it's real, because I saw it in the other picture as well. Here, let me go back.
Where's that prop? Well,
it's
no,
a prop right there.
Oh,
right.
It's a very nice effect, because, you know, with camera angle, this is all about camera angle, this performance. And keep in mind, maybe they'll change outfits, although I don't think so. They have the ability to change outfits if, you know, they have to request it from the EBU and all that stuff, the producers, because, you know, lighting and all that changes. But yeah, so I would love to all hear from all you as well. Let's start with Alexandros. What are your thoughts when you saw this? You feel better, worse? Let me know. I'm going to put it in the chat as well. Would love to hear from everybody.
I mean, I feel the same about the outfit. My thoughts haven't changed. Like, the outfit looks a bit of gimmicky. Like, it's not what I expected, what I had in my mind before. I really liked the music video outfit that he had. I really liked that. Now, in general, about the staging, I don't know. I have to see the whole story. Like doesn't feel like a story to me. Like with only the fingers and some people and something like that. But I'm really intrigued by it. I want to see what else they have.
Yeah. I personally am not bothered by the outfit. I had a similar situation because a lot of people were disappointed with Serbia's outfit. It was too bland and blended in. I think that's the whole purpose. Like it's supposed to kind of blend in with a little bit the mood of the staging and the song. I think Azerbaijan here is doing the same thing. Whether or not it's going to work remains to be seen on the cam work. I personally don't have an issue with the outfit. What I see right now, staging-wise, I'm very, very intrigued. I will add the disclaimer for this country in particular. We will not get much a big idea from the TikTok clips because it's all about the camera work. Boris, what are your thoughts? Real quick.
To me, it seems that they're going for a story where he's like this woman's plaything, almost like where like she has him in her hands, and they're closing around him and they're like drawing him in. I could potentially see that being a very impressive act. I could see that become a very impressive act with the correct camera work. But I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be sufficient to qualify or not. Like Azerbaijan is kind of probably the most 2024 entry in Eurovision 2024. It's very conformed to the traditions of the country participating while also not being particularly competitive, which I think is just the general descriptor for the year as a whole. It's really good.
I like that. I like that actually. Yeah, the way you phrased that. That's very interesting. Jasmine, aka ESC Victor. I just love saying it. Your thoughts?
I'm not loving the outfit, but I don't have anything against it. As the previous two people said, it will depend on the camera work and the lights. I'm curious if there's going to be some light effects happening as well, because the costume is really dark and the backdrop is dark, so we'll see. Overall, I'm not the hugest fan of the song. I just don't click with it, so my expectations weren't high. But if it qualifies, I will be a bit surprised, but also I'm not ready to write off Azerbaijan yet, even though I believe they are kind of in their, well, I called it crisis, because if this non-qualifies, it will be officially a crisis for Azerbaijan. So I hope they have a plan.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to move on because we got more updates. Thank you, Osiris, for letting me know in the chat. By the way, just because I'm curious, I wanted to see because we have differing opinions here in terms of the outfit of Azerbaijan. I'm asking if people like it. So I'm letting that poll sit there for a second. But in the meantime,
I will say on that outfit that it is giving Halloween, but everything else looks very good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So let me bring up Finland's TikTok. Hold on 2 hot seconds. Oh, it started playing on my. Here. All right, so I'm gonna make it bigger, and as always, I have to mute it.
One rule, and the rule is no rule.
That's how a lot of people feel. Okay, look at that colorful coat.
It's first time ever. We are excited, but ready.
It's so weird that his hat is like blurred out like the logo. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that quiet until. Okay. There you go. Is he singing the harmony? Okay. I was quiet for a second here. It sounded to me as that the singer is actually singing the harmonies to prevent having to sing some of the higher notes at some point. Maybe that's just my observation here. Did you hear that? He did not sing unless the backup. There was something different. course.
There was exactly
right?
the same thing as I mentioned about the Finnish final. His vocals just weren't really sort of on point.
Or there may have, because he has to sing the main. So the main vocals, the lead vocals, as I was looking for, they have to be live at Eurovision, right?
Yeah.
Even if the actual singer doesn't sing them. So it needs me to believe that there is a backup singer somewhere hidden behind the scenes. Johanna, you're nodding. Is that what you observed as well?
I also noticed that, and which was hard trying to observe anything other than the obvious thing. Thing, yeah. But overall, this is a copy-paste of the national final performance, so nothing really new. But hey, as you've said, it worked for them then, it could work for them again. Although I do hope that this is not setting a trend for Finland, because I love the Finnish music scene so much, and I would like to see more Finnish in Eurovision. So hopefully not sticking on that.
Real quick about Azerbaijan, 53% said yes, 46% no to the outfit. So that didn't help either. It's probably just a divisive choice, I guess, for Azerbaijan here. We all like, so chat, you did not help, but that's okay. Jasmine, your thoughts on Finland? We did a quick poll earlier. I don't think you were on yet. And I think, who did everybody raise their hand on Finland's qualification? I think Alexandros, you said no, right?
Me, yeah.
You were a no, and everybody else said yes. Jasmine, you only have a yes or no. You don't have a maybe. Is Finland going to qualify?
Yes.
You hated saying that, didn't you? It's just like, yes.
I don't mind the song. When I listen to the song, I'm all right. But when I watch the performance, my opinions changed drastically.
Yeah, it was the same for
this
me.
Is a copy-paste situation, so it didn't change my opinion at all.
Yeah, it seems like no one has really changed their opinion even today after watching. It's just exactly what they do. Let me just jump in real quick. What do you call it? Australian description is up as well. So Zacharias Fielding's fabulous white dress captures the arena light and transforms into a rainbow at the start. And then this whole performance builds into an uplifting cosmic explosion of light and color across both the LED wall and the floor and the cubes. Zakaria is supported by Michael Ross on keyboards, 2 backing singers, and of course the didgeridoo. There's a lot of movement around the stage, which makes it feel like it's a performance to aims to welcome in every corner of the arena. Just pure joy from start to finish, and we're delighted to add young. I never can remember how do you that language. How do you say that language?
Yankuni Chatara.
Yeah, thank you.
Something like that.
Aboriginal language to the Eurovision canon. Photos coming soon. Also, for anyone interested, we checked Zakaria's preferred pronouns, and it's either he or him, or she or her is fine. So we're going with he and him. Okay. So that's the description. We don't see pictures yet, but based just on that little thing, Daniel, your initial thoughts.
I didn't get any of that. I was trying to picture it, but I wasn't sure. Well, I'm just reading it now. If someone else wants to talk in the interim.
That's okay. Alexander, do you have any thoughts based on the first?
I have the same feeling with Daniel, so I want to read it too first and then say.
Boris, do you have a thought?
Yeah, kind of. I like the idea that they're going full LGBTQ with that, and I hope they're going into something like dreamy and utopian. I think the main problem with the song not so much is the instrumentation. I think it's a pretty cool dance song, but the messaging is a little bit nebulous for a message that I think a lot of people know to be factually untrue. We don't really see, we're one blood, we're one species, but we don't really see each other often as equals. And I think if you really want to make that message resonate, you have to sort of present it as an ideal and how you want to reach that ideal. And by wearing a really big puffy white dress and having it transform into a rainbow and then going into really beautiful graphics, you might actually make it appealing to the masses. It could be very clever, but we'll see. Like once we see it, we will have a better understanding of whether it will work or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did put the poll up as well. Jonathan, what are your thoughts? Anything? Does that to give you anything, or you also have to just marinate?
No, this is exactly what I wanted to hear. I was waiting
really?
for the description, and I love it. I hope that it will be well executed as I visioned it from the words that they wrote, because this is what I was thinking about was getting from the song from the get-go. I'm not too much focusing on the lyrics or anything like, they're fine. There is a cool language. I submit out that. But the song itself is catchy, it's fun, and we really, really, really need this like light song that doesn't require too much thinking, but it's also not making fun of itself or anyone else. And it's just like a pure vibe. I see them running around the stage, like being hyped with the audience, and I see it being like very clearly one of the biggest favorites in the arena. I hope that it will translate well into the audience at home, but I think that I want to be in the arena for that song. Like this song, I want to be standing and cheering for them because I think that they really can get the crowd going.
Yeah. So, give you 1 second, and then Alexander, I know you raised your hand, right?
Yeah.
Let me just read this. Two things. First of all, Gabe is in the chat. No, he has not been banned from the panel, and people were asking. He is just a little busy with Call the Thing Live, so I'm jealous. But he'll be in Malmö as accredited press, so don't you worry. He'll be here, especially next week, doing some of the rehearsals. And then there's one question here. I would feel that the staging will make or break Australia's chances of qualifying. Alexandros, go ahead, share your thoughts, and then answer that question as well, if you agree with that statement.
Yeah, I'm really confused now that I read it through a few times.
20 times, yeah.
And I'm really confused because they're talking about mathematics and the Fibonacci sequence, which is the happy medium thing, if I'm wrong.
No wonder Jonathan loves this. He sees the reverse golden ratio and he gets a boner.
The golden, right. So I don't get how we're going from the golden ratio to the uplifting cosmic explosion. Like, I get the colorful thing, which is very nice, but like, how do they, like, is it a message about like we should all be thinking about what's like not overdoing things, but like doing them with a filter? Like, is that the message? Like, that's why they're adding the golden ratio, maybe.
Yeah. 1 second, but I will say this: if this was Germany, the staging, and we get these information, I would be really worried this coming together. It is Australia, so I'm a little bit more confident, that this will actually work. But it's a genuine and fair concern. But go ahead, Boris. You're going to say something.
I think Alexandros makes a pretty good point about the lyrics being a little bit. It's kind of difficult to understand what they're singing about. And especially to people who are not very proficient in English. As a litmus test, I let my mum listen to all the songs, and Australia, they only have a lyric video, right? And she's moderately proficient in English, mostly passive. She had no idea what they were singing about. It completely flew over her head. She had no idea what the message was and what it was about. And I think that's the real big problem for Australia. The lyrics are very beautiful and poetic, but they also obfuscate a fairly simple message. So they really need to make it, like visually, they need to simplify it. They need to make it digestible and edible. If they can do that, then I think a lot of people will like it more than they currently do. But if they keep it complex, it will be more of a jury thing than a televote thing, which is not good when only televoters decide who goes into the final or not.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I did find the lyric video really off-putting. Like,
yes, that too. That didn't help.
I was just a bit, and especially that bit where they start kissing and they sort of, I don't know, it was just a bit I don't know, there was something really weird about it that didn't really vibe at all.
Yeah, it was very simple, and I guess it clearly didn't put much effort into this, but
they were just sitting there like.
Yeah.
So real quick, Australia is also, and Australia falls in the same bucket as Slovenia right now. Is Australia going to qualify? Based on what I see here in the poll, 52% said yes, 47% said no. So once again, useless chat. You know, no, it's just very interesting to see.
Not persuaded anyone, yeah.
You know, that nobody really knows, and that makes this a little bit more fun. You know, so prediction will maybe not. I mean, there's some obvious choices, but you know, there are a good amount of gray area that we are going to have to deal with. But let me just refresh it. So we're still waiting on Australia's photos.
Did we vote on Azerbaijan?
And Moldova's video. What?
Did we vote on Azerbaijan's qualification?
Yes,
chances?
Azerbaijan we did, and that was Azerbaijan I just read to you.
Oh,
the 52% said yes.
No, but did we vote as editors?
Oh, Azerbaijan. I'm thinking Australia right now. Sorry. I think we
Sorry.
did. Azerbaijan, yes. Also, Azerbaijan 53 said yes, and 46 said no. So we just have like 3 or 4, like 3 in a row now where it's divided. So it's a very interesting second half. That's why I called this the half of underdogs, because it's just you don't know for sure. And I still believe that there will be some casualties from the first half, because there's no way that everyone from the first half is going to go through.
It would be unprecedented, right? I don't think it has ever happened before that every song from one half failed.
No.
But last year, 5 in a row qualified from the semi-final.
Yeah,
but I mean, because that would mean we would have 7 from the first half and only 3 from the second half, and I just don't believe that's going to happen. Did you have a picture, Alexandros, to share? You were holding up something?
We have one from the Portugal, which is, I think it's questionable because she has her mouth open. Like what?
Oh, that's a strange choice. And if that were to be the case,
I would like to add that I see one more photo from Australia, and it's a person holding a didgeridoo.
Yes.
And I'm curious how they're gonna combine the cultural elements with these sparkles and colors and the whole idea, because to me those two I don't really see them coming together. So that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, Australia is really the one I really need to see the clip, right? Not just the one to TikTok, but then a little bit the camera, because it seems like there is so much question marks still going on. So we're all it's funny how Australia is really making us guess.
I'm wondering something, like, do we all kind of agree that the song is a really interesting composition, but also wish that the ethnic elements were explored a little bit more? Because sometimes the composition feels a bit like a dance song that also happens to have a didgeridoo.
Yes.
Whereas I would hope that the didgeridoo would be a little bit more, it would have more ethnic elements to it.
Yes, I agree. Jonathan, would love to hear your opinion as well. I thought it as an album filler more than anything. It didn't seem like the standout single to me. What do you think?
I really see. I think that I wasn't focusing at all on the lyrics, so I didn't really have those problems, because, as you said, they flew right off me. And yes, I noticed the 0.618, and I don't like math references in songs because they're cringy AF, and that is cringy AF. But yes, but hey, it's a fun light song. Like, I don't really understand how it cannot qualify, because it's a semi-final full of very serious song or in-your-face songs, and this one just comes and lets you let loose and be just casual. And I think that the casual voters having in a row Slovenia, Finland, Moldova, Azerbaijan, that will be very appreciated after them. So I'm not really worried. I do think that this is a much safer qualifier than people make it out.
Really? All right. We will see. Now I'm going to do the impossible. I've asked the impossible of you. There is no maybe. So yes or no. By the way, raise your hand. Is Australia going to qualify? Raise your hand.
Easy.
Only one? I thought there was going to be more. Okay,
2.
Okay, 3. No, yeah. So, but you have to make a choice. So,
my choice is no. But
yeah, I'm with Boris. I was going to say yes, but I'm going to say no for now. So 4 no's, 2 yeses. I think, Jonathan, you are pissed off. I see your face. You're like,
I'm not pissed off. No, I like this disagreement. I think it's fun.
Also, I think Boris was right.
It is maybe. It is maybe. If you have to pick yes or no, I think a lot of people just decided early on that it would not be a qualifier, and they're sticking to their guns, which is my logic also. I'm going to switch now.
Okay, Daniel, you're going to say something?
I would say I didn't think we voted for Azerbaijan either. I don't think we did.
Oh.
That was what I asked about.
Oh, if the 6 of us
That was the
voted, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you meant the public poll. My bad. Well, let's do that then. Is Azerbaijan going to qualify? If you believe so, raise your hand. Ooh, we got a break, a half, 3 versus 3 on this one. I'm not surprised. I thought it would be less. I thought it would be less than half. I thought I could be the only one. So, because this is my borderline surprise qualifier.
Yeah,
actually,
same.
right now. Same for you?
What is it on the odds? Is it qualifying or not?
It was 12th or 13th, I think, the last time I checked.
13.
Yeah, 13. So it's considered a non-qualifier. But Azerbaijan, I understand they had their boo-boos last year in particular, right? And cross my heart. But more often than not, they'll make the cut, even if it's just by a hair. And granted, they often benefited from the jury vote, which I don't have this time around. But I could see it happening. I don't know. I really have to see the whole package, right? I mean, that's, the whole.
Can I? Sorry for that. Can I say some comments that, because many people ask what does like 0.6 refer to, and I have like the whole thing of the golden ratio.
Go ahead. I have a question for you, Jonathan. Go and explain it, my boy.
So the golden ratio, which is found in the Australia's rehearsal, of course, is the symbol is the Greek letter phi shown. Okay, it's the letter F. Phi in Greek is a special number approximately equal to 1.618. It appears many times in geometry, art, architecture, and other areas. Now, I'm not gonna read the whole mathematician thing under, but like it's if you add A and B, you get the number, and it's like the F.
It's the golden ratio, which is actually the most irrational number that exists. You cannot put it into a fraction, and that's it. It's actually the most irrational number that we've discovered so far, as far as I know.
No.
One of the most irrational numbers, alongside pi, which also cannot be written with a fraction.
But pi is even more special in those categories. I'll stop. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, let's not have you pop off.
Yeah. Jesus. So we're now waiting on Australia's photo gallery, and then we're waiting on Moldova's TikTok, and then we're waiting for Portugal's write-up, right? Am I not?
And Luxembourg. Yeah.
Yes.
And what?
Luxembourg.
Yeah, but next up. I mean, the next 3 things, right? Yeah. So those are the next 3 things, because Luxembourg is going to be last today. Now, picture all of this right now, what we're doing right now. It goes fast, right? Boom, boom, boom. Imagine what's going to be like when we only have 20 minutes of rehearsals and only 5-minute breaks. It's going to be like, there's a clip, there's this, there's that. So, but that's like always a long day, but it's so much fun. It's so exhausting, but we don't need the write-ups anymore because we get like clips at least and all that stuff. So, but it's a different little story. Also, apparently Roy is in the chat.
Roy, yeah.
I'm not your Roy. Not your Roy.
He said, so unfortunate that the person who studied maths on the team is unable to join the stream.
I know, right? I'm tired of these guys. They just, I'm getting my last.
I had a question. So when is the dress rehearsals like open to the public? Because sort of all next week is not open to the public. Is that right?
So, ish. So let me explain this. So not the individuals, the full dress rehearsals start Monday afternoon, right? So Monday afternoon is when semifinal 1 will have a full dress rehearsal for the first time. The first dress rehearsal will take place in the afternoon, and it's only open to the press, not the public. Yeah. So press people will be able to be inside the arena, take pictures, small clips, not much, because, and the rest of us will be able to follow along online or on screen. So it'll be only press and no public. Then the evening is the second rehearsal, which used to be the jury show, which is only now applicable to the grand final. So the second dress rehearsal is in the evening, Monday evening, and that is open to the public. The backup juries will vote then as well. So that's the performance where the acts will give their 100%, even though it's, most likely not going to matter as much. But just in case, especially like San Marino and all of that stuff, they want to perform really well. So that's open to the public then. And then Tuesday as well, the afternoon rehearsal.
Okay. So what happens throughout this week, like in the run-up to the 6th of May?
So today, of course, so tomorrow will be the first half of Semi 2. Then, what's today? Sunday. So Tuesday will be the second half. And then Wednesday, the semi-final one will rehearse for the second time. So today, the first, you get 30 minutes to rehearse and 15-minute breaks. The second one will be much faster, just boom, boom, boom. So you get only 20 minutes to rehearse and 5-minute breaks. So it's just going to be everyone in semi 1 will rehearse a second time, and then they're done with the individual rehearsals. And also the big 5 and the qualifiers that will rehearse for the first time as well on Thursday, and then again on Saturday, I think. And then go for the whole thing. So there's like the first individual rehearsal and the second individual rehearsal stage in this whole process. That's kind of how it works.
Does the press have access to like from sort of Wednesday onwards, or still it's not until Monday?
Not anymore. As of last year, they decided not to do that anymore. And it's you can just debate it as much as you want, whether you like it or not, or if it's right or not. But it is, the unfortunate part is it gives the acts a whole less exposure, because it used to be 2 weeks of promo and advertisement for them. That all fell away. They no longer have the meet and greets, no longer the press conferences in the same manner, and the interviews. So it's unfortunate that this part also falls away, makes the first week, of course, a little less involved and exciting for the
also
artists.
Constantly things being leaked as well by certain individuals that got press accreditation.
True, and that is an issue. However, they're fixing that this year, because there's going to be a big QR code, I think, or like over your screen now individually, so you can no longer just cover it up in the corner. Like used to be like just a tiny thing in the corner, you know, and then you just put a black thing over it. It's now over the entire screen, apparently, like a watermark. So you can no longer share without kind of giving away yourself. So that has technically been taken care of. So we'll see how that's all going to pan out, of course. But it was also more for them. Their approach was like, you know, it's less stress on the acts kind of thing. But, you know, it has its pros and cons, I guess, if you want to. But that's basically the decision behind why they did that. All right, let me take a look here at is anything new out yet, or do we have a little like extra breather for a second here? That is Australia. No, we're good to go. So any questions in the chat at ESC United? Just going to go around the room real quick. For tomorrow, the first half of Semi 2, who are you really interested in seeing? I'm going to start with you, Jasmine. Who are you really interested in seeing the rehearsals of tomorrow's first group?
Switzerland and Austria.
Switzerland and Austria.
Top 2 picks. Switzerland because we all know it's a big favorite, and Austria because I'm curious if there's gonna be a big show or it's just gonna be a disaster, because I love it, but I also I'm not sure if it's gonna do well or not.
Okay.
So
how about
Halo?
Jonathan, what's the one you're looking forward to tomorrow?
I was making a comment about having a Halo PTSD from Austria, but
me too. Me too.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit.
But the ones that I'm actually excited about are Malta, Greece, and Armenia. I think that Malta, obviously, it's one of my favorites. I love that song so much, and I think that she is going to surprise everyone. And Greece, because she makes some promises with this is going to be one camera movement, and I'm very curious to see what does that mean, even though we won't see what does that mean on the TikTok or the photos, but we might get an idea of what is the story that she's going to try to tell, because that music video has a very specific story. And is she going with the same one? Is she going with something different? Very, very interesting things. And Armenia, I want to see that fun on stage. This is so much fun.
Daniel, real quick, the ones you're looking forward to?
Greece, obviously, Switzerland, and Austria. I'm really, really worried about Austria, actually, because I kind of like the song. I think it's trashy and as fuck, as you can
in
tell.
all the right ways.
Like, I don't know, but I kind of worry. I worry about it. I don't know. The vocal, maybe.
Boris, who you think you're really interested in?
Well, yeah, obviously Austria, because it's my favorite from that half, or Switzerland. I think those two are like my first place and my second place from that half specifically. I'm not so worried about Austria's vocals, actually, because I don't feel like they're going to matter Like, as you might remember, Eleni's vocals were also not particularly great at certain junctures, and she still dominated the televote and did really well in the jury vote.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to matter much for We Will Rave as long as the energy level is correct. So let's just hope that Austria know what they're doing, especially now that they've picked Marvin Dietmann's own business associate / wife. It would have been nice if he didn't screw over his own partner, you know. And other than that, I have to agree with Johannes on Armenia. Armenia was insanely good in Madrid, I thought. I seen the clip and energy was bouncing off the screen. Like,
so how about you, Alexandros? Do you agree?
That.
Yeah. What do you think? Looking forward to?
Well, of course, I will have to say
Came prepared.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Because there are many surprises that I know they're gonna be on stage. Like with the cubes, we're gonna see another country using the cubes, like the traditional things, the dancing. But Greece aside, I wanna see Czechia, Denmark, and Armenia. Like I wanna see. I know that we haven't seen any live. I think performance from Armenia. I think.
Did you say Madrid? Somebody said Madrid.
Yeah, they were in Madrid. They were at the pre-party. Yes, and it was a very bouncy, energetic performance. She has, like, Jacqueline has a lot of on-stage charisma, I feel. So if she's photogenic, it's going to come across on the camera as well.
Yeah. There's one question real quick because the Australia pictures are out. Thoughts on rehearsal so far? What do you think of the use of the stage, the variety of staging? I just have to ask it really quick because we got to move on to Australia. Jasmine, do you like the use of the stage so far in those rehearsal clips that you've seen, or the pictures, I should say? Do you think that it looks looking good?
Well, I don't really have a clear opinion on that yet because that's one thing I'm not sure about. I haven't seen the stage in its full function, I believe. So I'm not sure. I like the colors. I think even though it's small, I've seen some comments, people saying the stage is small, but it still looks empty. And I kind of feel that, but I hope that when we get the camera cut, it's going to look much better.
How about you, Jonathan? Do you feel the same way? Or did you like what you've seen so far?
I think that the only thing I would want to see more is the cubes. I think that they're a great element, and I hope that they will not be abandoned much in the future performances, because that stage is great, and I want to see it in its full glory, as Yasmin said.
Yeah. So here we go. So let's take a look at Australia. There's that dress was mentioned previously.
Beautiful.
Okay, Here we go.
Ooh,
he looks very like a wax figure there. Like he's like, all right. Okay, so Milkali La, One Blood, big on screen. That looks cool. Okay, looks very snaky. The outfit, very reptile-y. Okay, so there's a swirly. We don't see anything of the rainbows that was mentioned or the dress lighting. It's probably just a short moment. Milkali La. So it doesn't look like they really have any props or anything crazy on there. Here again. So lots of swirly lighting going on. So they're keeping it a little easier. They have a live backup singer there? I see like a mic there, right? So
are they?
I think so.
Isn't that the other person?
Shoes?
It looks like it. You may zoom in a little, but so of course lots of the word on there. Yeah. There you have it. Let's do some talking here. Oh, I was going to ask Daniel, but he's gone right now. Let's go to Alexandros. Your first impression of Australia, looking at the pictures and description we found.
Perfect, because that unfortunately is going to be my last, because I will have to go and I have some writing to do.
Okay.
For Australia now, now that I'm seeing the staging, just to address like some comments from before that they said like we're too negative about Australia. Of course, we're seeing only some pictures. We don't have the
even that negative.
Yeah, I saw some comments, and of course, I want to just address it because we're not being negative with any country. That looks amazing. The whole staging looks amazing. They look amazing, like both of them. I really like the dress. I really like the colors. I'm not a big fan of the song still. Like, it's not very it's not very giving for me personally. It's not my taste. I think Australia has sent amazing songs in the past and better songs, but it's okay. It's very fun. It's very colorful. I for sure want to see more, like the placement of the cameras, where it's on stage, and all of that.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I know you have to go, so have a good night. Have fun with your write up, whatever it is, and I'll see you next time. Okay.
Cover well.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank God he's gone. So,
Oh, please don't be that. He's
I
fine.
am kidding. He's wonderful. I do that with everyone that leaves. I just like to talk face to that.
Yeah.
So, Jasmine, your thoughts on the Pictures Australia? Were you pleasantly surprised, pleasantly disappointed? Not pleasantly disappointed. That sounds kind of wrong. Or where do you fall?
Well, I believe this will be a very visual performance, and pictures don't really do it justice. I believe we need to see it happening in motion, and that's when we're gonna get the real idea of what that's gonna look like. One thing that crossed my mind is you mentioned a prop, and as we know, Australia loves props. They always have one, and this time I don't really see it, except if the dress is considered to be a prop, because we've had dresses already in all kind of sparkles and colors, and that kind of can serve as a prop. So maybe that's gonna happen. I'm not sure about the lyrics on the cubes. I'm not a fan of that in general when they show lyrics on screen, on any part of the stage. So that's the only thing in these pictures that I'm not really vibing with, but the rest looks pretty good.
Okay, somebody is saying, by the way, that the Moldova TikTok is out. The website has not been updated with the links. So I'm just going to go the old-fashioned way to Moldova, to TikTok, to Moldova.
All to Moldova.
All the way to Moldova to get the TikTok.
Yes, I'm that dedicated. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, it is up there, but it's for some reason they didn't include it in the website yet. So they have to put on 18 different channels. You know, I have to go on a scavenger hunt here. It's a little annoying.
We can finish up Australia first, and then we can do the Moldovan thing.
We'll go back. We do a jump around because people really want to see it. So
all right then.
I'm gonna bring it up.
What is she cooking with?
Hi everyone, I'm Natalia Barbu from Moldova, representing my country at Eurovision contest this year. So happy, so excited to be here. This is our first rehearsal, so a lot of emotions, a lot of nerves, but it's really beautiful. I love it.
I'm gonna turn this off for a second until she starts getting ready.
I do like how she has equipped her bow like it's like a fantasy character. Swords.
It's literally like.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get some. I mean, we had those notes as well, but it sounded good. So,
there's always something so funny about someone singing "I want you to be happy all of your life" with like barely restrained menace in her voice. I want you to be happy all of your life.
I'm like, okay, you don't have to yell at me. Yeah. So I will say, the clapping part was kind of cool in the national final because they all were doing it. It's a little bit less impactful when she is just doing it. They should have had like maybe some people clapping on the backdrop with it. Right now, it just seems a little random. She sounds good, of course, right? So, I mean, we kind of knew that. Anyways, and the sound quality obviously is way, way better than what we've had in the national final. So that is certainly an improvement. The backdrop looks really beautiful. I still think, I don't necessarily change my opinion on whether this is now a qualifier, but I think it looks... They certainly made the most out of a song that certainly is not as competitive as I would like it to be. But what I see, I think I like it, actually. How do you feel, Jonathan?
Well, first of all, yeah, same comment as Boris about the like using the bow as a arrowhead can. That's very funny. Like she's about to shoot it at someone. Very funny. And yeah, I agree with what you said, Matt, as well. I think that they needed more people for the clapping part, and it kind of looks empty. However, backdrop is really good. Her dress is very, very pretty. But overall, it isn't enough to really change my mind on thinking that this can qualify, unfortunately. But I wish her the best of luck because she seems very, very nice and fun.
Yeah. Daniel, your thoughts?
No, completely has not changed at all. As I said, I kind of also preferred the styling in the black thing that they were all wearing at the time in the Moldovan national final. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's all right. You don't have to. I mean,
it is a little. So there's something about, and because I feel questionable because obviously if there have been budget restraints, people are just doing the best they can, aren't they? So
that's a problem. And I feel bad because
yeah.
Moldova has so much potential because we've seen what they've done in the past. It's just a matter of they don't have the money, and that's something that feels unfair. But it's just the world that we live in. I got to move on real quick to Portugal because we got a description. There's the song you feel okay, so it's very short. The staging is similar to Iolanda's win at Festival de Canção, with 5 white-clad dancers with covered faces performing a contemporary dance routine. They also lowered the middle cube, which makes the space feel more intimate and adds to the artistry. Creative and hypnotic. We'll post some photos soon. Investigate how delegations keep white outfits clean. Do they have spares? Okay, this is just like side comments. I will say this. I mean, we have to see it, of course. This is genius. Why aren't people doing that? Bringing one down of the cubes and make it almost like a little room like there. And especially when you have a more intimate performance, I think that is clever. So I'm really curious to see that.
Or Portugal. I was currently having a lapse. Are we talking about
Portugal?
Oh, they're actually doing something with the staging. Nice.
Well, I think, was it you, Jonathan, or was it maybe Alexandros, who always kept pointing out, rightfully so, that the cubes are not being utilized the way we wanted it to. Was you, right? Yeah. So I feel like Portugal has something. What do you think? You like the idea of what you're hearing?
Who?
Jonathan, because you were talking about it previously.
Definitely I want to see that happening before I say that it was a good idea, but I do believe in it, and I'm very happy that they are keeping the same format as the national final because that performance was very, very good. And yeah, finally Portugal is, well, not finally, they've been on a very good streak for the past few years now, and I'm very happy that they are on this streak because in the past I was featuring them less, but these past 4 years they have been quite delivering, and I am here for this Portugal renaissance.
Yeah, I'm doing
artistique. Yes.
Yeah. And Jasmine, I would like to hear your thoughts as well, because one thing I've noticed is like oftentimes, even though the delegation are being made aware of the features that a stage has, oftentimes they do not take advantage of it. Like, for instance, in 2013 Malmo, they had the lifting stage and only UK took advantage of it. Or in 22, when those bridges came up, mostly Moldova was the only one really utilizing those screens. So do you like what you're hearing so far?
Yes. Well, about that, what you said, maybe the reason for that is that delegations and performers have already ideas before learning what all they can do on stage, and they don't want to change things before, like a month before the actual contest. About the performance from Portugal and the description, I like it a lot. It seems like a similar style as they did in the national final, but that reminds me of 2022 when they utilized the small part of the stage, and they also created this intimate atmosphere by standing in the circle. So I think this is the same idea, just utilizing that part of the stage. And I will say this is my favorite Portuguese entry in modern Eurovision. So I'm hoping it will work.
That's a strong statement. Wow. Well, somebody is rooting for sure. So now it's time. Again, there's no maybe, only yes or no. Before I show the chat poll, Is Portugal going to qualify? As a reminder, in the polls, in the betting odds, it's Bora non-qualify. I think they're going up a little bit right now. So raise your hand right now if you think Portugal is going to qualify.
And I'm going to make that a double yes.
Double yes. So
Why
4
were they
out of
not
5.
in the top 10 before?
So Daniel, you don't think it's going to qualify?
I need to preface this. It's probably one of the songs I didn't hear. I only heard once. So,
okay.
So I don't know, and it's I've not been sort of gravitated to go again. So maybe I just say yes. I don't know, just to because it's. I mean,
no, you can if you don't feel if it didn't stand out to you right away as a obvious qualifier, it's not a bad thing because people only have the chance to listen to it once at Eurovision as well. So it's not necessarily a
but I suppose you're not singing on the stage though. It's a different thing rather than a video.
Yes.
But, yeah, that's maybe I don't know.
And this is just for own personal. This is not I'm not locking you in as a
no.
You know. So
it's just I remember when Connor was trying to get people to review all the Portuguese songs, and there was something like.
And James.
20, you. And like there were like 25 songs. I'm like, I'm not doing Portugal.
20.
And I just completely did not listen to any of the Portuguese final songs. So maybe carried on.
I am a bit surprised. I thought, me personally, and I think Jonathan and Jasmine, you kind of were on the same boat as well. I thought Portugal feels more of almost like a very, 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 very likely qualifier. Only 58% believe yes. 41% say no. So even though it is a majority, it's not like an overwhelming majority that believe in Portugal. Your thoughts, Jonathan?
It is a better majority than we've got before.
From the other 4, that's true. It's just yesterday we had like these dramatic differences, right? So this time, not so much.
Yeah, but this half is, as you said, very undecisive. However, I'm very much Team Portugal is qualifying.
I just go ahead, Boris.
I personally think it's definitely one of the best 3 songs in this half, and we will have a minimum of 3 qualifiers from this half, which is my logic for raising my hand. The song has a couple of problems that it doesn't really fundamentally accomplish. I think the drop of quality between the studio version and the live is actually quite substantial. I think the live is still really good, but it's not as good as the studio version was. The studio version goes really hard from the 2nd minute onwards, and something was missing for me during the live. And I think it's largely because Iolanda just kind of holds back, and she just kind of is a little bit introverted with her in the ard. And like, I really want her to belt. Her song is so energetic in studio because she goes all out. And in the live, she only goes all out in like the last 10 seconds or so, and I feel like that's maybe a little bit too late. My other point of criticism for Portugal, and this will not take long, but it looks like they fixed that, is that the staging sometimes looks empty because the backdrop was white, they're wearing white, and there were white shots in Festival do Canção. So it sometimes gave the impression that the staging looked really empty. So if they're using the boxes to sort of create space and add structure to that, they could alleviate it because it could look a little bit more intimate, which is something that the song also really, really desperately needs. So I quite like these staging changes.
Yeah. So real quick, by the people in the chat, as if you want to ask questions at ESC United, so I'll see them. I want to go. I'm not sure who was you, Daniel or Boris. Let's just say it's I wouldn't call it worst case scenario, but worst case scenario for the second half, and every single song from the first half is qualifying. That means we only have 3 songs from this half to go through, right? If that were to be the case, which of the 3 songs so far, countries, do you think would go through? Like, if you could only pick 3, not based on your taste, but the likelihood, who would it be? Yes, no, in general. Like, we because we're waiting for the next link. So look at all the ones that just based on your gut feeling. Which of the songs in the second half will go through? Anyone wants to go first?
Yes. If I have to just pick 3, it will be Finland, it will be Luxembourg, and it will be Portugal. And Slovenia is a distant 4th. But those are those 3 are the ones that I would choose.
Yes, and to me, I would pick the same. So I would be on the same page here.
Sensible.
With you. And, anybody else has a different opinion? If you had different 3 to pick, go ahead, Jonathan.
I will definitely include Australia in that, and I will go as far as saying that Australia will finish the highest of that half. And then I will say Luxembourg is the second most likely qualifier. and Portugal, but I also don't think that this case scenario will happen. So Finland,
no, it won't. But if you had to,
yeah. So I'm saying like these 4 are my 4.
Okay, Daniel and Jasmine, do you have the same opinion, or do you have a different combination?
I forgot which ones did you guys say. Which ones? I'm just
Boris and I said Finland, Portugal, and Luxembourg, and I think Jonathan said put Australia in the mix there, and then probably not Finland, I guess.
I did put Finland.
You can only have 3. You can have 4. So Finland, Australia, Portugal, Luxembourg. Which one of those 4 would not make it?
Finland, Australia, Portugal.
Jonathan, because you can only pick 3.
Oh.
I think those ones are the right ones. I'm not sure. Slovenia is always a question mark as well, I guess. I don't know. So
I know I did like the impossible task here as well, I guess. So I shouldn't be doing that.
I do worry about, for example, Ireland in terms of as much as I like it. I do worry that it might not on the first final.
Out of all the ones
really,
I'm more worried about other countries in the first half. Ireland to me is like
Ireland I think is not safe. I love the song.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not safe. It's not safe.
Yeah, I have it as super safe.
Okay.
I'm not even like discussing that.
But to be fair, like Ireland is not the only song in the first half that feels precarious. I am not high on Serbia's chances either, or Cyprus's. I think those 3 are also in a hot seat. And
I'm going
I think
to
Serbia
Poland and Lithuania.
And Poland as well. I'm not sure.
So the first 4 songs, Lithuania. I don't know. Lithuania gets so much hype, so I feel like it's more likely. And the only difference, Lithuania. Sorry, I have to bring it up. They have a lot of immediate support here already in terms of like friendly votes, so they get already.
So does Poland, to be fair. So does Poland.
Yeah, but Poland. Correct.
Which is also why I think Lithuania and Poland are very likely going to qualify if their fan base is even mobilized. But I also think Lithuania and Poland have good songs, which helps.
But then a lot of times Poland hasn't qualified either. And also, like, if you think about last year in the final, the televote didn't really do much for Poland, did it? So I don't know.
But here's the thing: we're only talking about qualification. We're not talking about the final outcome.
But I'm just saying, when people talk about Poland, about people coming out to vote, it's not always the sort of
True, but it's a head start. Keep in mind, in 2019, they would have qualified if it would have only been televote. In other years, Poland got dragged down by the jury. Lithuania as well. 2019. So oftentimes Lithuania and Poland got penalized by the juries. But if we talk about 100% televote, Poland more often, they would have qualified. Yes, I'm not talking about outcome in the finals. That's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
But in terms of qualification, it certainly would increase their chances.
If you also think about when Poland didn't make the finals, it was very often a case of them, not being particularly good. Like Light Me Up wasn't particularly good. Let's also be fair.
Everyone...
Or the rides.
Everyone be quiet. The queen has arrived. Emma! Hello!
Emma!
Hi. We're not worthy. How are you?
Oh, stop it. Great.
Finally, some female representation.
Like, it's not the same without Emma on here. So, how are you feeling right now? It's a lot going on, huh? Prep work for Eurovision?
Yes, I'm so excited. Really nice to see you guys again. How is everyone doing? How is chat doing?
It's been going. It's like boom, boom, boom. We get a lot going on here. I don't know if you met everyone on here on camera. But I think Boris. Yeah. So the other one's Jonathan. I'm sure you all talked before, but it's nice to have the group together here.
Yes, I agree. Hi everyone. So yeah, what did you ask? You're asking me about
the prep work for your Eurovision experience.
Oh my goodness. Like, I'm super excited. It's going to be my first Eurovision experience, and it's going to be amazing, especially because the team is going to be there as well. So, I'm not going to be alone there. And yeah, I'm supposed to be packing. I'm not packing yet, but I'm supposed to be packing. I'm trying to figure out like the logistics. I recently changed my flight actually, so I can be there a little bit earlier. So yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. I'm really excited. Yeah, I can't imagine this is even happening, honestly. So yeah, it's going to.
The first time is always special. There's just something weird about it going. I know, Jonathan, you went to Italy, right? That was your first time, right?
That was my first time. Yes, I went to Italy in Liverpool.
Yeah. My first time was 1985. No, I'm kidding. I was. My first one was 2011.
Come on now.
2011 was my first one, so that was an amazing.
Azerbaijan. Where was that?
It wasn't Azerbaijan one, but it was Germany.
No, it was Germany.
Düsseldorf.
Yeah, Düsseldorf. I remember because I was like, at that point, I was like, Germany is never going to win, right? I said, in my lifetime, if I'm still alive and Germany wins, I'll go. And then, boom, they went out of nowhere, and I'm like, I guess I have to go. So that was my first time, and then it took from over there. So people are asking, are you staying in Malmö or Copenhagen, Emma?
Neither, actually. I'm landing in Copenhagen, but I'm going to be staying around Malmö.
Oh, so just near Malmö, one of those places?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
On the beach in a shack.
Yes.
In a tent.
I'm staying with a friend, which is going to be really great for me financially as well.
Yes.
Man, this first time was 1956. I was at work. Sorry, now I was working, so I couldn't go. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. It'd be great, and actually, it's very interesting that I haven't been at all, because I've been following this competition since 2004, probably. Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, I think.
Yes, it is. And just give us, people always like to know some of your favorites this year. You don't have to go in order, but some of the songs that you really, really like this year.
I'm all for the Balkan representation this year. So Slovenia, Croatia. I like Serbia. I'm really hoping for a moment, a little bit more, I think. But yeah, it's great. I really also like. Let me think on it. I really like Estonia. Actually, it's really fun.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes.
Those who have seen my top 10, I'm going to show them later as well. They are in my personal top 10. So
I'm actually surprised. It doesn't seem like a Matt song, but I'm
people saying
I'm very pleasantly surprised by your choice. I approve.
Yes, no, I really. It just gets to me. It's just like I enjoy it. Yeah.
Ooh yeah.
So it slaps.
Yeah,
it does.
Sorry, I'm actually a really big fan of Ireland as well this year. So good. So good.
Yes. We have doubters in the chat here, or like on the live stream. So I need some representation here.
I would love for Ireland to qualify.
Yeah, me too.
Have the record against them. That's just it.
We're not allowed to doubt it.
Them.
You're doubting it. You're on my shit list. I'm kidding. I am kidding. So yes. So have you seen all of the rehearsals from yesterday, Emma, and today?
From yesterday, yes. I think. I'm pretty sure. But it's actually really difficult to follow everything this year across all platforms.
All platforms.
Yeah. But I am pretty sure I saw all photos. I'm not sure about all videos that we've got, but I'm pretty sure I saw all photos.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous now. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. We got another one.
I heard you talking about Estonia. I heard a disturbance in the force.
So I
heard Estonia and I came running.
Because there were too many people in chat, but suddenly we say Estonia, and here he is.
I came
like
running
officially more people in here than in the
I was
chat
making my ham sandwich and I heard Estonia and I was like, I must join immediately.
There's so much bologna in it, more so than it is in your sandwich.
Yeah, well, Boris, I'm here to argue with you. I'm ready. I don't know what I'm going to fight with you over, but I'm going to fight with you over something.
It will not be Estonia because I have that in my top 10.
So Gabe, you've been officially unbanned, I guess, from this live stream, as people were saying. So you are allowed back in.
He unbanned himself. Now all we need is Roy for full arguments.
And thank you, Osiros, also for keeping me honest and on schedule here when it comes to links and information. I'm sorry, y'all. I am trying to keep track of everything. I think there has been an update on Luxembourg's performance, and I don't think we have an Azerbaijan link yet either. And we're waiting on the Portugal picture. So now that we have 7 people in the room, I want to go for this one more time real quick because this may change the setup, and we're going to do a raise of hand. Okay, you can only raise it or not. You cannot do a maybe. So it's a night of honesty. and maybe people have changed their mind. I want to know which one's going to qualify based on your current feeling. And I know it's not your final decision. I'm not going to hold you to it. Is Iceland going to qualify? Anyone who believes that, raise your hand. So raise your hand, not thumbs down, Boris. That's the opposite. So
okay.
0 for Iceland. Okay, Slovenia is a little. So the poll was like basically half with the viewers. So let's see where we fall. Is Slovenia going to qualify? Yes or no? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jonathan, we are outnumbered.
I wanted to qualify so much, but
I know.
I'm so scared.
It's so on the cusp. I know. It's a coin flip.
It's a coin. But 5 said yes. Finland. Is Finland going to qualify? Yes or no? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Emma is the only one. You still don't think it's going to qualify? You think it's going to be?
Based on the photos that we got, I'm not really sure. But I don't know.
I would love for them to be a citizen, but unfortunately, this is not Boris Vision. It is Eurovision.
Yeah.
And Eurovision very often is the Lulu Vision, which is why I'm still keeping my Slovenia prediction in.
Okay. As of right now, is Moldova going to qualify? Raise your hand. Okay. So Iceland and Moldova dead on arrival, according to us right now. Now we're going to do Azerbaijan. Is Azerbaijan going to qualify? Yes or no? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 to 4. I'm a bit more surprised that is actually a little closer here. The chat was basically in a similar disagreement. I was like slightly no was winning, but only by like 3 points or so. So you don't think, Jasmine, that it's going to go through, huh? Azerbaijan?
No. Maybe it's my personal taste here that is making me biased, but I simply don't think it's memorable enough, the song itself. And the photos that we've seen look pretty dark, so I'm not convinced it can survive all these songs around it. And I think Australia coming after it will hurt it a bit as well.
Oh, that's very interesting, because then it takes us to Australia, right? Show your hand. Are they going to qualify? Yes, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. So, Gabe, if your arm fell asleep, you need to let me know. But you don't think Australia's going to qualify either? I haven't seen your hand in a while.
He's eating. Let him eat.
Yeah, but can he raise his hand?
Oh, Boris, honey, I always eat, firstly. Secondly, no, Australia is not going to qualify. The thing is that they're great performers, and we know they're great performers, but you can only work with what you have. And unfortunately, when it comes to the song, it feels disjointed. There's this kind of build up. When you get the didgeridoo come on, you're like, oh, it's going somewhere, and then it drops away again, and then you don't get it. Then you don't get that energy back for another 90 seconds or more. It's not coherent enough, and I think people will switch off, unfortunately. So it's not qualifying for me.
Very interesting enough, out of the ones so far, only Finland got a majority vote from us. So let's see if there's another will be added. Portugal. If you think Portugal is going to qualify, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I can't comment because
I know. So 6.5, I guess. So everyone thinks on our team.
To be fair,
he hasn't seen it yet. He only listened to it once. He doesn't feel.
We would have been this vote would have been unanimous if it was Pilaš Kosturiš, but unfortunately it's Grito, so it's only 6 out of 7.
Okay, and then the last one. So we have now. We agree Finland and Portugal will go through. Now, keep in mind, at bare minimum, 3 have to go through anyways, right? Because there only going to be 7 from the first half. But anyways, Luxembourg. Is Luxembourg going to qualify? Yes. Raise your hand.
Of course.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yes, Emma, I see a hand, but maybe you're frozen. Oh, there you go. You were just frozen for a second. 5. So once again, giving it back to you, Jasmine. You don't think Luxembourg is going to go through?
I'm conflicted about it. I think actually now I will raise my hand as well. I think it will. It will.
Haha! I convinced the next one. I know. So Gabe, you didn't raise your hand, or were you eating?
No, I didn't raise my hand. Because I think the 7 in the first half are qualifying. Then Portugal, Slovenia, and Finland.
So you think everyone from the first half is going to qualify?
Yes, I think with Luxembourg, I think, is going to come 11th in the semi and miss out by a whisker. I agree about Slovenia being the other borderline here. I just think Slovenia is going to win out by a slim margin.
Wow.
I hope you're right.
Here comes Gabe being the contrarian. I gotta love
it. Well, the reason is I think you can kind of judge them on the merits because I think Slovenia is starting from a slightly stronger position. Because even though Luxembourg is probably going to give 12 to Portugal in the semi-final, realistically, because of the size of the Portuguese diaspora in Luxembourg, that's not going to operate in the other direction. Because obviously Portuguese people don't feel the same affinity to Luxembourg that people in Luxembourg feel to. So I think Luxembourg is not going to have any friendliness there. I think you can expect to get some traction in the Balkans with, beg my pardon, with Slovenia, and they have Serbia and Croatia there to help them out. From that point, they only really need to find another 15 points or so to probably make it through. If we see anything approaching the kind of clustering we got last year, where essentially all the points went to 11 songs, and Southern Lights were the victims of that. Because of that, I actually think we could end up with quite a similar semi-final to that, in which Slovenia and Luxembourg are the two picking up the little bits around the edge, and Slovenia is going to just get enough based on the fact that it has a slightly friendlier set of countries for it.
Okay. Real quick, for both, before Emma and Gabe, because you weren't here around yesterday, I just want to ask you, not necessarily your favorites, but from what you saw yesterday, rehearsal pictures and clips, who impressed you the most? Not necessarily your favorites, but who you're like, wow, this is really cool. Emma, who comes to mind?
Well, visually pleasing, obviously. I mean, I have to, it's not because I'm from Serbia, but because, I really love the visuals they had. I really loved Ukraine as well, although it was similar, I think. And I really loved Ireland. Visually pleasing. So
okay, I kind of was in the same boat, actually. How about you, Gabe? Who would really surprise you pleasantly yesterday?
I think Ireland has to be the big one for me. In fact, I think in general, so far, the thing that I've seen that has impressed me the most has been how striking Ireland is visually. I think one really good decision that was made early on in this process by Michael Keeley and RTE was to basically hand over complete creative control to Bambi and Bambi's team. So we're getting something which is very authentic. We're a very long way from the We Are One serving a little bit too much in certain areas that we had, just 12 months ago. I think I really loved that effect we saw with the sort of hand spreading and the lights illuminating around her. I think the addition of a dancer, of just a single dancer, is better than what they did in the national final. I think it's important to focus everything in on Bambi and essentially provide them with a prop.
A foil.
And that's what we get from a single dancer. It means that everything will be really, really focused in on them because the vibe is so dark. The stage won't feel too big because you can black everything out. Lots of close shots, hopefully. If I see a wide shot in this performance, then I'm going to be writing a strongly worded letter to Martin Osterdal.
And just to add to that, because all your in the chat or following on ES United, you were able to vote in the poll yesterday as well on your favorite or best rehearsal. I know it's very basic based on the information we have because we get 10 pictures and a 10-second snippet or something like that. But just wanted to let you know that Croatia won the vote with 49% of the votes. So wow. It was a landslide winner.
Yeah,
so that was the best rehearsal.
I would love Croatia to win.
I think most of us would agree with that one, actually. Number 2 is actually Ireland with 15% of the vote. Number 3 is Ukraine with 13%. Number 4 is Serbia with 10% of the vote. Number 5 is Poland with 5%. Number 6 is Lithuania with 4%. And Cyprus, number 7 with 3%. Any surprises about how the people voted? Nope.
Someone voted for Cyprus. That surprises me. But,
3% voted.
Because they're a liar.
Greek readers, don't worry.
So I'm
we should be sensitive. Daniel is from Cyprus. We should be sensitive in this.
Yeah, I didn't realize clearly the admins of EurovisionFun.com decided to vote in our poll.
Yeah.
Oh
Some
my
people
god!
like it.
Okay.
People vote for the song they like sometimes, not post. And maybe some people think it is. There are times where I had a song, I loved it so much, and everyone hated it, and even like the staging, and like, I love the staging. And then I was like, I guess I'm alone. It does happen. I think it happened to all of us at some point. So I'm trying not to be too judgy there.
No.
My most song this year is Cyprus, actually. So
really,
like if Cyprus has one voter, it's gonna be me.
And my mom. It has to. But my mom cannot vote
people
because
who
she's
like
Belgian,
it.
so
I like it actually. It's just I don't necessarily think it's a because they're better upbeat songs out in the running. I think it's going to lose out to those, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's a perfectly valid.
I will say though, its most direct analog in the semi-final is Luxembourg, and I do think it's a stronger package than Luxembourg because I think the song is better. I think the chorus is basically. I think the chorus is stronger, and I think it's a bit more dramatic. It's really camp. So I do still think Cyprus is qualifying. I'm just and I should say I do like the song. I'm just at a loss as how anyone could look at all those rehearsals yesterday and go, yeah, that one was my favorite.
Yeah, that's true. It's less about the song. It's really about what they put together, I guess, and that is fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
I think going first is not a bad thing.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I also feel like some of these votes are a little bit deceitful because Lithuania scored very poorly in that, but I think it's largely because Lithuania is just the same from Atranka. There's not been much of a difference, and people always like shiny new things, So like it's like, oh, Ireland actually has staging. They have candles. Bambi now has a piece of man carcass to play with. Oh my god, they have something. Like, oh my god. Like Ukraine, they have a prop, and Jerry looks fierce with her head down. Like, they like shiny new things, and Lithuania is basically the same thing as it was before. And it doesn't have to change anything because it is very good the way it already is. But of course, people are going to, reward countries that surprise them pleasantly. Of course, for a casual tuning in who hasn't heard any of the songs, it's not going to have the same impact, or it's not going to reflect that.
I have a question. No, go ahead, Emma.
Yeah, but there's one more thing. I think that we've seen a shift where Eurovision is like the fans of Eurovision rather are kind of requiring to get a music video on stage lately instead of like a performance. And I think we've seen that a lot with as you mentioned, Ireland, they have like the whole prop thing, and Serbia has a rock and smoke and all of these things. And then you have Cyprus that has a very polished performance, in my opinion, from what we've seen at least. But it looks like, you get I'm going to quote someone that I've talked to yesterday. I don't know if you know her, like Sashka Youngs from PZE.
Oh, her.
And she's like, well, she has more of like a VMA sort of performance, which is kind of true if you think about it. It doesn't have like major props. She has great dancers, lights, camera, action, all of that thing. And, it just, I guess it kind of depends on your taste and what you're into. But I've seen a shift where the fans are requiring more like to get more of a, music video instead of a performance on stage. So, yeah.
Okay. No, that's all really good, valid points. One question I wanted to ask, because we talked about it at nauseum, not at nauseum, but a little while yesterday. Germany came up as a topic, and it seemed during yesterday's live stream, there seemed to be a whole lot more optimism when it comes to the German entry and its chances. So I want to ask, especially the four that, or the five actually, except Daniel is gone by now. Your thoughts, just real quick. Do you think that Germany will be in the bottom based on what you've seen? So, or do you think Germany may do better than anticipated? I'm going to start with you, Gabe.
I'm starting to build up a little optimism because I think the thing is that Germany has a formula that's broken and doesn't work. But if you try to send songs that people are going to find enjoyable, that are going to be really quite middle of the road, but are going to sort of have a wide appeal, occasionally you are going to get one which people sort of go, yeah, all right, I can kind of get on board with this. I think we saw with the Euro jury result where Germany came 5th that
somehow, yes, I know.
that I know, right? It's like that there is clearly a market for this song, and if the juries pick it up and run with it, even half as much as that, then he'll finish on 80 points or so. And quite frankly, Germany getting 80 points at the moment, not just with this song, but in general, is like a miracle. Like, I would be, if I was Germany and I got 80 points in Eurovision right now, I'd be celebrating in the streets.
I know, right? You would be like, yeah.
I really want Germany to do well for personal reasons, because there's a German poster on our forum who was really upset when Rick lost, and I tried to console her by saying that Isaac would do better than the average German entry. So it would be very nice if Germany did better.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I do not know. I have them slightly higher on my list than I normally have, but at the same time, they're in the same zone of mild like, where I always have Germany. I don't know if it's enough, but I feel like the general creed for picking performance should be pick someone who can perform if you're in doubt. Rick had problems. He was not good performing his song, but Isaac nailed Always on the Run, which might not have been a very, good composition, but he nailed that. And I think you can always work with an artist who is clearly talented at singing and at being decently charismatic on the stage. Of course, in EIC, there was no real response to Germany, but I think that's just largely because no one expects anything from the Germans at this point.
Yeah, that is true. Jasmine, how did you feel about...
So just very quickly, I will say at LEP, people were actually like, that was actually quite good. Sorry, I don't mean to point at you with a bit of bread.
That is quite right. Jasmine, do you think Germany has a shot of getting out of the bottom? You think they're doomed still?
I think they have a shot because Isaac can sing, but they need something with that voice. The voice itself will not be enough. One thing that I have in my mind regarding all these songs that are kind of radio-friendly and not divisive at all is who's going to vote for them. If they don't have a pretty unique performance or package that they are delivering, who's going to pick it as their favorite? Because when you are voting as a televoter, you're not voting for your 7th or 8th place. You're voting for your 1st or 2nd, maybe 3rd. You're not going beyond that. And my question is always, who will put those songs that are middle of the road as their favorite and vote for them?
So I got to stop you all real quick. So I got to finish your thought real quick, and then we got to move on to something else.
Yeah, I just want to say that that's my issue with most songs that's Iceland, for example, that's even Poland. If you want to put it in the same box, I would put it in the same box. So those songs that don't really stand out, that are good for what they're slick, they're fine. Nobody hates them, but nobody really loves them. And I think Germany is in that. I
think their televote is going to be nothing. I don't think their televote is going to be any large number, but they did well in Euro jury, so it could potentially. The thing is that mildly.
Sorry, I got to move on. We got to
continue. We'll continue this discussion.
Yes, we're going to continue the discussion because we got to just real quick. Luxembourg came in the description. I just wanted to read that real quick. I'm going to go again past the fluff. I'm just going to read the stuff. Staging wise, we have bonus cubes on stage, providing a frame for Tali and her 5 dancers. So it's like a big cube, I guess, that's surrounding them. She's in a black bodysuit, and all her dancers are in different red outfits. Also, like their performance rotates to perform to each side of the audience. It really works with the stage configuration. Sparkly, fun, and energetic, a great way to wrap up the first semi. Two things not... Okay, they put something that makes no sense. Okay, so that is what thing. So they're bringing props, and apparently they're going to make sure they have a lot of audience shots in there based on what you're hearing right now, Jonathan. Nodding, you're intrigued. This sound good, or what are your thoughts?
That sounds perfect. Yeah, I had hope for her to deliver a good performance that is not just about to be a dance routine for a pop song, because let's face it, she's not a very good dancer. We have seen that in the national final performance, and it's not her strong suit. So she was obviously going to try something that would suit her capabilities more. And I'm happy that they are going with something that would be dynamic with the cameras and the angles. That would be something that I would be looking forward to. Not too sold on the colors specifically for the songs, like why red? This was never a red song. I don't know, might be a me thing. But yeah, just I I think that it should be a qualifier, being a closer and having that description.
Okay, what about you thinking, Daniel? Yeah, Daniel, what are your thoughts?
I do think the song is a little bit dated generally. I mean, there is something quite sort of early 2010s sort of vibe to it. I don't know. It sounds like the outfit's probably going to be the same as what she was wearing. Well, black. She was wearing black
yes.
PVC.
And the dancer's wearing different kinds of red or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of like, I don't know, the whole usual singer and 4 dancers kind of thing. Is that she can't have as many dancers in the Eurovision as she can. She had like loads on stage at the final, didn't he? At the Luxembourg final, I think she had more. Yeah. I'm not getting. At least I think I need to see the pictures because I'm not really getting an idea in my head.
Okay. Yeah, and I think the Portugal pictures will be up any moment now because
I've seen Portugal photos on Twitter, so they must be out now.
It says 1 minute ago, but when you click on it, they're not coming up. So it sometimes takes a minute for them to load. Emma, while I'm waiting, you what?
I'm so excited for Portugal. That's my other favorites.
Am I the only one who sees a thumbs up in front of Emma? No, it's gone. Okay. Emma,
it's
your
the
thoughts
mask effects. I also get them sometimes. If you do certain gestures against the screen, then something.
Yeah, for some reason I saw like a bubble of a thumbs up in front of you. I'm like, look at your fancy schmanciness.
Why isn't it?
I think that if I do that, then it should do like.
Mine doesn't do it either. All right.
Here.
So, what? How did you do that?
Right, that?
I've never seen it happen that other people get it.
Party! No, I'm not getting it. Okay, so anyways, Emma, excuse me. About Luxembourg. First impression when you hear that. Are you excited? Are you like, okay, I don't know. Is it like confusing or what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know because they mentioned like a lot of audience shots. I'm not a fan of too many audience shots, actually. I prefer to watch the performance itself. So a few here and there is fine, but if they overdo it, kind of like if people overdo smoke or stuff like that, I don't know. But again, I'm also not the biggest fan of the song, but I think it's probably going to be a bop. So, I mean, I'm neither here nor there with that description. So let's see.
Also, I kind of agree with Gabe. I think Cyprus is better song, no matter how generic than the Luxembourg is. It's sort of, and it's exactly I don't know how they put 2 songs exact sort of similar at each end of Eurovision of the final, it's semi-final. It feels a bit, I don't know, it's quite a strange choice, isn't it? Sort of choosing to.
I think with this, the one thing I will say is, I mean, the mood of the song is maybe a little different. I think Cyprus is a lot more confrontational. For me, this song, the message of this song is about like self-assurance. She's talked about, the meaning behind the song and about how it's basically about her struggling to make it as a musician in New York, right? And about how you get knocked back all the time. You're told to look a certain way and do certain things and all the rest. It feels like the staging needs to reflect the assurance. What I'm curious about, that kind of black and red, those are quite confrontational colors. And like, whereas this, I feel like maybe could have done with a slightly softer presentation. I mean, maybe we'll see the photos and go, actually, no, I see it. But like, it doesn't have the aggression that Cyprus has. And so you can't really stage it in the same way. That is the one way in which I think they do really quite differ. But like the underlying beat, for example, is exactly the same.
You can make it
very
a little
similar
bit
tempo as well.
You can make it work if you just have like pretend fighting, like something like that nails the pluckiness of the song, but also kind of makes it cutesy. Like, oh, you want to fight me? Come on, you want to fight? Hey, like I feel like if Luxembourg go for that sort of vibe, it would be okay. But we also don't know what shade of red they're using. Like technically, you have very aggressive shades of red and also very muted shades of red. So we'll see.
People in the chat, by the way, I'm just curious if anyone else tried on in here. I keep clicking on the Portugal pictures and they just come up as blank. You're having the same issue if you go to Eurovision.
It's not functioning yet. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, good. It's not just me because sometimes I had to delete my cache or something like that, and but it's not loading. Okay.
Can you say something about Luxembourg? So I have one picture in front of me. It's probably unofficial, but one of my friends sent it, and she has like black bodysuit that's completely like without any texture, without anything, just pure black. and the dancers are having red. So I'm not sure why they decided to do that and not the other way around, because I believe if she would be the focal point in red, she would draw attention. And this way dancers will grab all the attention and then she will be just there standing in black. I feel that audience will be more interested in dancers than in her in this situation.
This is exactly the mistake that Albina and Familia Kalmandi made last year. They did exactly the same thing where Albina didn't stand out enough because she was in black. It was the same thing. There was no, like the focal point was wrong.
They qualified though.
They did qualify, but that was in my opinion that was a big drawback of that performance.
Do you think the Luxembourg national final? Do you think her performance there was quite aggressive, or the dancing was? Do you think that worked? Do you remember? You guys remember that? No, I wasn't.
I think it was, but she didn't dance all that much because, like Jonathan said, she's not great. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say actually. No, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, sorry.
I talk much.
I think that the national final performance was very rushed, as in not necessarily because of time constraints. I think they just didn't really know what to do with the song. And so they resorted to the option that made the most sense to them, which is it's a fun song, let's do dancing. And then they figured out that that isn't really the best option to go. So hopefully they're going for something else now.
Yeah, I was going to actually say exactly what MZ London just said. It depends on the lighting, camera angles, etc. Too. It could be that actually the lighting is more red and the dancers blend in more, and she stands like in a white spotlight in the center of the stage, right? Something like that could be the case potentially. So just because she's wearing black isn't necessarily an issue if the backup dancers blending into more the stage stuff, the lighting.
As long as it's not what we saw with Je me casse in 2021, where Destiny showed up in a pink leotard that was the exact same shade of pink as her backdrop. It almost looked like she was like performing with a disembodied head.
Sure, but she was the lead singer. She's not supposed to blend in. She's supposed to stand.
Exactly.
Out.
That was the problem.
Yes. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting. So I'm going to click on Portugal one more time. No.
I think in general, while you're doing that, Matt, I think I am a bit allergic to sort of dressing leads in black in most cases, because the very nature of wearing black means most of what you're doing is going to be washed out. Like if there's any overlap between your arm and your body, for example, and you're wearing black, your arm will just disappear as it goes across your body. Like, it makes you appear less dynamic and more sort of voidish. I mean, look at me. Like, between my elbows, none of you know what's going on.
No, do I want to know?
Why do you think I'm wearing black? You don't see all the curves that way.
Emma, you going to say something real quick?
Yes, so Milanka was kind enough to send me on Twitter. There are Portugal photos.
Yes.
So I don't know if they already appeared on...
so Twitter pictures are on Eurovision. Where are they exactly? On the channel, or where are they on Twitter?
No, Eurovision News or something like that.
Eurovision I'm pasting them in the Discord admin chat as I speak, so that you can take a look at them.
Okay.
Open them in a new tab.
I'll bring them up here on Twitter. On screen. Hang on 1 second. Window.
It's news with a Z at the end.
It just not as many. We only get 4. So this is the cubes that we're talking about. That one is lowered, which I think, especially with the camera work, I think that's very clever. I think
you can actually see the shots. Like, if you look at to the sides, you see the pictures right there, right? Can you see with you can see the monitors.
Oh yes, you can see that one. Yes, you can see that right there. You're right. So you can see kind of the idea behind this thing. That may be very, very clever. So lots and lots of white, and as you can see, the background again. It's the theme of the year. Every year of this year. I mean, it's like face keenies, hidden masks. Like, you don't see the faceless dancers. It's just like an ongoing theme this year.
Golden showers.
Did you have that many? I don't know.
But no, I think that was another year. I think that was...
that was another year. We had them everywhere.
I think it was in Tel Aviv where everyone had one.
But this shot kind of really, I think, shows what the idea is of the staging. You can see the ceiling here a little.
They're compacting it. That is really smart.
Yeah,
because they're making it more compact.
Because the backdrop is going to be black. It look like very dark for the most, right? And just them being white and the cubes being white will mostly do the work here in coloring.
That's really good. The backdrop was white in Festival do Canção, and that made it look empty. And it really shouldn't look empty. It should look desolate, which is not the same thing. And black helps with that.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some colors, as you can see here, but I think it seems a big part will be the desolate aspect you just mentioned. So so yeah, it looks, again, lots of interpretive dancing, which could go either way in my book. But I like what I'm seeing right now. Jasmine, how did you? Was it a good first impression, or what do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's an improvement from the national final because they were thinking about the lights and the whole backdrop is not white this time. And I love that they lowered this box and created this little space for them. Just like in 2022, I'm more confident in Portugal qualifying than Slovenia qualifying at this point.
Oh, okay.
That's more likely than Slovenia, frankly. But
I would agree with that as well. Jonathan, you're nodding. You like what you saw so far with Portugal?
Hands down the best rehearsal of the day thus far. This is amazing. I love that they lit the only bottom part of the boxes to create this illusion of flying discs, like very thin discs instead of big boxes, because the boxes can look a little bit chunky at parts, and this is a very like modern vision of minimalism. And when you showed the pictures, more zoomed in on her and her team. First of all, we do have a lot of masked dancers this year, but they are a bit more subtle because you can see the faces, and I find that less distracting than in other performances. As well as the fact that she just stands out so much. Despite all of them being in white, she's the main event, and you can see it, like you're instantly drawn to it. And so very, very, very well done, Portugal.
Yeah, I agree with the faces because it looks like the dancers only have like more like pantyhoses, kind of like look kind of see-through stuff there. You know, I can't think of a better description.
It's not the lace that you see in Croatia, that is true, but it doesn't look more sophisticated than it did in the national final, which I think is a good direction.
Yeah. So,
Emma, did you like what theories to this? By the way,
go ahead. Now, Gabe, you go first. Then go ahead.
Sorry, I think a couple of things that make me positive is, number one, I think the dancers' faces being obscured is really good because people latch onto faces, and by only having Iolanda visible, you can bypass the color thing a bit. I also what I can see here, they've kept the idea that they had in the national final, which is essentially using the dancers to kind of delineate the edge of the stage. So you have, you can see it here. They sort of the dancers sort of swelled away from Iolanda and then came back in again based on the progression of the song. And by having the dancers arranged this way, you can you make the stage feel much smaller. The one thing you have to do, though, to sell that effect completely is to ditch any wide shots. If I see a panning shot across the back of the arena in this song, I'm probably gonna retire and never do Eurovision commentary or anything ever again.
No, but the person in front of the camera should retire.
Yes.
Or behind the camera.
Well, I think, honestly, I agree with you for the most part, but it is very important to remind people that they are still in the arena, not a music video. So there needs to be some shots, that make look, this is still an arena. And that was one of the issues you often had with like Benjamin and Grosso, where they just tried to make it look like, no, I'm completely somewhere else, so they want to make sure there's still that vibe there. But other than that, I agree with that. Emma, I was going to ask you your thoughts on what you've seen.
Yeah, pretty much everything what Gabe said, I was also going to agree with. I really love that they kept sort of this idea from the national final. I think what I saw in the national final was what bought me with this song. I love that their faces are covered because they elevate the choreography, but they don't take away from her. Like, she has such a striking presence. And the thing about Iolanda is that she's incredibly precise in the way she sings, in the way she moves, in the way she performs her songs. I don't know if you guys saw anything else by her, but she's so slick in everything that she does. And especially, I think that final high note is going to be like a moment for this song. I think this looks incredibly well done, very compact, very expensive, very, very, very good overall.
Oh, so yeah, no, I think so too. And I will say I understand the some of the hesitation when it comes to the betting odds, because we all like, Portugal is going through. What's going on? But
yeah, obviously.
The inspired. It's not like the very most catchy, like easy song to listen to kind of thing, right? And that often concerns artist favorite and all of that stuff. So I can see why it's happening, but I do think it will have its place, especially it's certainly more memorable than a lot of the other songs that we have seen in the second half. So I think it'll easily slide through. But I understand why about that. I'm just checking here right now to see if there's another TikTok, but I don't think yet, right?
We should be getting Luxembourg around this time because Luxembourg finished rehearsing around, I think, 10 minutes ago. Or did they start 10 minutes ago?
Wait, there's a Croatia one? Oh, no, that's another TikTok randomly that I posted. Never mind.
Wow, pushing favorites like that. I mean,
well, Cyprus, now what is
couldn't
it?
Couldn't be 2024, what?
Everyone wants to have Croatia win. Wow, I hope they're ready to host that, Yasmin. I really do.
Wasn't good. We were on there last year during the live chat, the live blog. There was always like pictures and comments they made towards one country all the time, and I was like, "Wow, favoritism much." You remember which one that was? Do you remember there was like always like pictures? What was it? Finland? No, there was one country.
I was about to say if we're talking about Gabe, it was probably Finland last year.
It was.
Right?
There was one country that was like something has arrived, like the outfit, or like here's like a piece of like equipment, and it always showed us pictures. Yeah, we get it. That was something cool. It may have been Finland, it may have been somebody else. I just don't remember what. Subwoofer. That's what it was in 22. Thank you. It wasn't last year. It was in 22.
See, what I was thinking of was when they brought up Andrew Lambru's feet.
Yes. Say one more time.
They had a whole thing about Andrew Lambru's feet and like how they wanted to learn more about Andrew Lambru's feet.
Okay, that's more
I mean, the way that Andrew Lambru appeals to every single fetishist is just creepy to me. The foot people, the armpit people, the freaking twink.
It is something. Not the feet, please. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I remember now Subwoofer. It was always about Subwoofer. That's what it was. I remember that. That was slightly annoying, actually. Azerbaijan is out, somebody is saying. So let me take a look here. I'm loading it. Azerbaijan. Okay, it's the tickety talk. Give me 1 second. I'm bringing that up. Okay. As always, while I'm bringing that up, y'all, there's a copyright thing, so I need to be always careful with the sound, so I'm muting it in between.
I'm curious.
So here we go. This is the part I'm going to mute.
There's so much homosexual energy between these two, by the way. So much tension.
Amazing performance. I love you. See you.
I'm gonna wait here because this is all just not them singing. You know what the song the song sounds like. It's difficult to say.
I'll repeat it again. I wish that was Slovenia's backdrop, but it is an LED carry, I think. It feels a bit like an LED carry.
Yeah. Now I would love to hear all of your opinions. First impression, real quick, Daniel, what you saw in Azerbaijan.
I don't know. I'm not sure now. I don't know. It just felt a bit, I don't know, just sort of, what's the word? Like humdrummy and sort of just kind of a bit backgroundy, and it just kind of, and then it's sort of a bit like playing on those ethnic. As well, it's great if you're listening to it, just chilling out. But I don't know, it's not. And also, I wasn't too keen on the visual just now for some reason.
That's why I want to hear, like, honestly.
Yeah, I think also what ruined it was what he's wearing and what the other guy's wearing. It ruins the whole thing. I think. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. But.
Jasmine, what did you think?
I agree with Boris that the song, like their concept, is relying heavily on that backdrop that looks perfect and would suit Slovenia much more. But they're just standing there. There will be some camera work around that can probably make it more interesting. But as an overall package, I don't think that will be enough. They sound good. They can sing, but I'm not impressed.
Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
So I think this is very unfortunate that we just reviewed Portugal and then we're moving to this, because those are two black and white stagings, and clearly one of them got the assignment and the other one, well, I think that it is a good staging, but it's lacking life. Like, you know, there is the hands, cool, there is a backdrop, cool, but unless there is like really special camera work there that ties all of it together, it just comes across a little flat and a little uninspired, which is very unfortunate, because I don't know if you've seen, that was very weird. They released the music video yesterday. Right? That was crazy. And I thought, ooh, maybe they're doing that because the staging will have a similar link to that music video and they want people to understand where that came from. And except for the fact that it is black and white, there is no really link, which is sad, because I think that music video was good and could have been translated well into a stage performance.
There's also gray. Don't lie. It's black, white, and gray. So yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
I'm
course.
kidding.
The
no,
it
is.
50 shades
Gabe.
of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Shades of them. Exactly. Gabe, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna echo Jonathan's comments, a lot of which I agree with. I think it's it does seem to fall quite well flat for me. I think what this reflects as a package in terms of its level of ambition, as was the case with Charles Turan last year, is a sort of you can almost tell that the broadcaster is not as interested as it used to be. You know, like there's a lot less ambition here. There's not much to really. I find it hard to grab onto anything. Like the sound is pleasant enough, but I just don't enjoy the package. And I do think that sadly, I think this is going to be forgotten, and I don't think it's even in with an outside chance at the moment, based off what we've seen.
I'm wondering, Gabe, did you hear perchance about like Game of Chess, which was allegedly the second place by Icel? I think it leaked in full too.
I heard the leak and I thought it was terrible.
We're in sync about that. Yeah, I mean, if that was a playing field.
She released the full music video and studio version to that song like a few weeks ago, if you haven't seen it. And it
hasn't emerged from underneath the rock since.
It's an experience, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking up there more. There's still enough pictures. I mean, we got the 4 pictures from Twitter, but the gallery is still broken for Portugal. So
there was something really strange going on with Azerbaijan's selection now that I think, because I believe Fahree was in, but with a different song. And the song that he's now with is the one that Ilkin was written by Ilkin, who was in with like a group, and other members of that group also wrote the current song. So there's something really weird going on with that selection. It's not unfeasible that they just canned every song and then quickly wrote this one.
Gabe and Emma, actually, both of you. When do you arrive in Malmö again? When are you leaving, Gabe?
2nd. I'll be there on the 2nd. We've got an interview, in fact, possibly that afternoon. So.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there on the 3rd.
On the 3rd. Okay, so you got a few more days. Okay, so that, because it is an expensive place to be, I'm sure. So, whether even if it's crazy. So I'm so sad I won't be there this time around. So hopefully you all have fun on my behalf. I get to do all the work and you get to party.
I'm actually really gonna miss you. I was looking forward to seeing you.
Really bummed out as well. But now you have no other choice but to go back. So
I'm just not gonna go. It's fine.
Yeah, cancel this year and go next year.
Yeah.
Especially if Croatia wins. That's pretty close, right?
You've always wanted to visit Croatia. That was like the one country that you always wanted to visit for Eurovision, right? So let's just hope that Rim Dim Targetim wins. We can all meet up in Zagreb.
Yes,
I will say, guys, do you ever find that when you look at a selection of Eurovision winners, when you know that you might be going, you sort of go, okay, economically, which one of these is most advantageous?
Yes, stop talking.
Because between Switzerland and Croatia, on a song level, if I wasn't planning to go, I'd be equally happy whichever one of them won. But I'm leaning towards Croatia on the basis that I cannot afford 2 weeks in Switzerland.
I love the Swiss song.
This is exactly why I never root for Switzerland, even when I like their song. Never root for that country.
I don't like their song, actually, which is really funny. I'm always, I don't know, like, something's not clicking. I feel like they wanted everything all at once, and something's not clicking for me.
No, I love them. I want them to
you
get
just have to
500
give it some
points.
time.
I love them, and I want them to get 500 points. I just want Croatia to get 501.
Oh.
Can I suggest people getting 502, and that would also be kind of a cheap Eurovision, as we've seen from Italy, maybe?
Well,
Italy
I mean,
was not
Italy
that
could win,
expensive,
but
to be
we'll
fair.
talk about Italy when Italy has their round of rehearsals, I think.
I know, as long as they
Italy
put up
could
English
definitely
signs
win,
next
but
time.
Yeah.
That's all
we
I'm
don't
asking
know
for.
about their staging
We
just
can
yet.
talk about Turin, which I'm sure we can all agree. Everyone who was in Turin agrees. Turin sucked. Nice enough city, terrible Eurovision host.
Oh yeah, of
It's
course.
it's really
Like a
funny, but
kinetic
I've
sun.
never,
Oh Christ.
I've
They're
never
not going to
actually
make that mistake again.
been to Croatia either, except for Zagreb. But I actually want to visit the seaside as well.
Yeah.
So
Dubrovnik
No,
24/5.
That's expensive. No.
What?
Thing is, the seaside is pretty, but I don't think we have a place to host on the seaside. Like, there are alternatives, but I think logistics would be a bit difficult in that situation because people would probably have to arrive and land in Zagreb and then travel to the coast, and that would take some time. Plus, the traffic lines, they're not very good for such trips, so I don't think anything else but Zagreb.
I heard
is
there's a venue in
even
Pula, though,
considered as an
which is not far from Umag, where Baby Lasagna is from.
Yeah.
Istria is so far out of the way, though. It would
Accommodation, you
be-
need to remember that as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
Istria apparently has Romanians, according to David.
We'll see. We'll cross
Was
that bridge.
is that
We don't want to
David's
jinx it right
comment?
now.
When
That is
you
the
tell
one thing
David
that
to put
David-
places, like David's like, oh, there's Romanians there. It's
That
like,
is the
thanks,
one
David.
thing that David knows everything about. He knows nothing about anything else, let alone music, but he knows exactly where the Romanians live. That's the
So
only
here
thing he
are-
knows. It's his mastermind subject.
Here are the
Romanians.
pictures that are left that we haven't seen yet. Some of them we have seen. I don't think we've seen this one. She looks stunning, of course. I hate her. And she has some backdrop LED here.
Shaq Hudak.
No.
Oh,
It's impossible. No.
No.
oh my goodness,
I
gorgeous.
can't go back. That was not just. I mean, do you remember? I said it yesterday. Isaiah Firecracker. What was his name again? No,
Firebrace.
Firebrace. Firebrace. Always like the wind machine in the
Isaiah
back, and it's
Firebrace.
taking easy. It was just so much. So you can see she has a little bit. I mean, Lithuania has that as well, but a little bit. I'm fine. Especially, it seems more like herself. Like it's almost like a video of the video. Okay, so.
So someone said that Eurovision was hosted in 1990 in Zagreb already.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh
It-
yeah,
it was
1989.
It was essentially the
No,
swan song of
1990.
Yugoslavia.
And 1990, I meant. Yes,
Was it the
sorry.
last year or something, or was it when did the was it 92, 93?
So
No,
Yugoslavia basically they hosted Eurovision and then they were like, right lads, let's pack it in, and
Yeah.
it was immediately disintegrated.
I say a couple years
Whoa,
later.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's also interesting that the band who won for Yugoslavia in 1989, Riva, are actually a Croatian band. So technically, this would be Croatia's second victory, but
Yeah.
would be the first under the name of Croatia.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Also,
More.
something I discovered about Luxembourg. Apparently, it's a bit inaccurate that it's 37 years since they've not been to Eurovision, because they tried throughout the 90s. Because apparently, there was like these semi-finals or some sort of semi-final before the Eurovision that was really.
So what you're
private.
referring to is the year 1996, where
The
that
relegations, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
and I
if
think
they participated in
Luxembourg
the-
did attempt to go into those.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking
I
up
don't-
right
But then
now.
it came up when I was doing on Wikipedia, and I just kind of.
It should be in the 94 one because I know
think
that they held a
93 was the
semi-final
last
there.
time they participated, I believe. I'm
But I
looking
think
at
Yeah,
they
the last
tried
one.
They might
again.
have
or
tried in
something.
they might.
They
have
were
tried
not in
4 and 5.
1996. I'm looking it up right now. Germany, Denmark, Hungary, Israel,
Check
Macedonia,
94, Matt.
Romania, and Russia did not make the cut.
There was a semi-final in 94 also.
Try
I believe.
90, yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
didn't-
I do find it funny that they used to have a pre-selection. Imagine you submit your song to Eurovision and you're like, thank you for your submission. We've decided you suck and we're not going to
Yeah.
let you in.
I don't see anything in 94. I don't recall they having a no. That was
Let me
only
see, let me
96.
see what
That was
else.
only in 96.
In 93 there
where,
was one,
where
but then
Germany
in 90,
infamously failed to qualify. Yeah. That's the only year that they skipped.
So the last time they took part was in 93 then.
Yeah,
but in 93 they had a semi-final to enter a couple of the new countries, but then after that in 94 they started getting rid of countries regularly per year based on their poor results the years before. And so I think that Luxembourg was told to go out in 94, and that's why they didn't participate there. And after being told to go out, they were like, okay, bye.
Yeah, they got. I think they got 11 points in 93, 10 of which came, of course, from Malta, which was one of the bigger troll juries in the year. Oh, God, Malta voting.
94 is my favorite 90s contest, not just for Riverdance, but also for the fact that, because Ireland was very clearly trying not to win, and they were so bad at not winning that they won with a record number of points.
I hate
by sending a couple of old dudes.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Oh, come on. There's much worse. It's fine.
Cyprus was the clear winner.
I found it.
They're not
They
bad.
tried in 97. I've just saw it now on Wikipedia. They tried in 97. Luxembourg did.
But they failed.
That was also the year 97 where Italy came back for a hot minute and then they disappeared.
They were just like, we got this. We're still awesome. And then they got fourth and then they,
they were represented by San Marino Outlet Experience Award for Best Look winners, Chili's in 1997.
So now that we looked at Portugal's full gallery at last, we're only waiting for Luxembourg's pictures because that one is going to be a little bit more telling. And we still don't have the who's after Azerbaijan.
Someone posted on the Reddit thread in the comments Luxembourg one photo.
Yeah, I've seen one picture of Luxembourg, but it's not.
I see it. I'll bring it up. See, now I've already had 18 sources. Now I have like another one. Okay.
Okay.
I hate this. This whole Twitter X thing. Every time I click on Twitter X, it looks like I'm on a porn website.
Okay, it doesn't look as monochrome as the description makes it out to be. I'm looking at the pictures right now. It's actually more of a fire motif, and it's not red. It's more of a pink, a magenta.
I'm showing it to right now.
Are these the same dancers from the national final?
Hello?
I can't tell.
Well, it can't be the same because she had 6 of them, so she needed.
They could have picked their least favorite one. They could have picked their least favorite one and been like, you don't come back.
I'm showing the red pictures.
Goodbye.
You.
Okay, so here she is. She looks great, and it did what I thought they were going to do. Is like, look, the dancers blend in with the backdrop often. When especially the fire, because it's on that. Well, she's in fighter, not fire. But it sounds like fire. I always thought because initially I thought she was singing "You're on Fire," so that's why my brain is still stuck on that. But I think that's what they're doing here. So, I will agree, black is still not maybe the best color because she still blends in a bit too much.
Yeah.
But at least the backup singers are not outstaging her either, per se.
Yeah, but what color would you put her in, though? Maybe gold?
I don't know.
A little brighter.
I think that gold would also blend.
Blue?
Gold.
Like maybe like a muted blue or
neon
something.
green. That wouldn't be horrible.
Can I say one thing, though?
Like
Thank God they've gotten rid of that outfit from the national final. That kind of bondage leather thing she had going on made no sense.
I'm also really pleased that they've got rid of like the 2 locks that were hanging.
Yeah, I hated those.
I do feel like the ponytails, like the pigtails that she has, look a little bit too much like antennae. She looks like a giant ant. She needs to be really careful with that.
Keep in mind, and that's a very important thing to say, this is also a rehearsal. And what do they do at rehearsals? Rehearse. So they rehearse. That's basically so they can still change outfits. The team's like, oh, this looks not good. So she may wear something completely different. Because we remember Boris. We talked about Destiny earlier. What was she wearing initially? And then
she was wearing the same outfit, but it was in the same shade of pink as the
That's
backdrop.
what it was. Yes. And then she changed it the second rehearsal. That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Or
there are other cases like Tiana Bogic in 2017. Like she had a dancer with a shirt on, and suddenly when it became clear Serbia wouldn't qualify, suddenly the dancer no longer had a shirt on.
Yes.
Desperation.
So, yeah. I look at
Ronella as well had that very odd outfit for the first rehearsal, which she then changed to another odd outfit. So we didn't really win anything.
Do you remember when Ira
Losko
turned up?
There was Trincha Osterhaus Dressgate in 2015.
Yeah, Treintje, poor Treintje. But like, remember Ira Losko when she turned up in like at the first rehearsals in Stockholm, wearing like what looked like a chicken breast, and then she ditched it for a golden dress.
I don't even remember all of that. I thought
Gabe remembers.
And like 2017 tried different costumes as well. I remember, I mean, I'm going now way back in 2013 actually. As Ukraine, what's her name?
Oh,
Again?
goodness.
She changed her outfits basically during rehearsals. Like it's like she had like 18 of them, and it was like, oh my god, like every performance was a different outfit. So that was crazy. I love that kind of stuff. Like thinking back, but yeah, there are too many rehearsals I've seen in this day and age. So I'm just like, my brain is
also like Lithuania last year. She kept on changing the same outfit.
Yeah, I mean, they had the concept that they knew she was going to be in orange. They were just like, what font of orange?
Yeah, they just kept on changing, and none of it looked good in my personal taste. But yeah,
but at least it gives us something to look forward to for the second round of rehearsals. You know, think people switch things up and how it's going to look, and then it may look again different. We've seen people who tried something different and are like, oh no, let's go back to original outfit. So that has happened as well. So and that is fine. That's what they're supposed to do. So same with sometimes certain notes or certain camera angles.
Oh, they have a cute little prop.
Who?
Luxembourg.
Yes,
yeah,
they
the
I
box.
didn't see it in the pictures.
The
whole. Well, tell me. You cannot just keep yourself.
Let me. I've got it here. So if you want, I can.
No, I got it already. I got it.
Okay.
It's
on the ESC Discord, Twitter.
No, I got it on the website. So first of all, here are the lights. So lots of spotlights on her. There we go. Okay, so they sit around her, and that's where you can see the prop. I think on the left a little.
So the whole color scheme kind of reminds me of Poland last year.
I can see that.
Yes,
I can see that. Yeah,
but Blanca was wearing. Actually, Blanca was wearing the colors that the dancers are wearing, right? It was the same Tequila Sunrise color palette.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
I don't know. Like I hope.
Yeah, I have problems, Jonathan. It's fine. I'm working on myself.
Here we go. So here's the prop. This is the best picture of the prop that you can see here. That's where they start out. I think they pull it off at some point, like off stage at some point, right? Because I didn't see it in other pictures. So they start out in that, I would assume, and then they eventually walk out of it.
What kind of a prop is it?
It's like a little square, but within the square, of little like other like.
It reminds me of Oscar Enestad's Cube of Death from Melody Festival a few years back.
I remember that.
And I don't think you watched the Melody Festival, and aside from the finalists, and Oscar Enestad was a favorite and who failed to qualify.
I've watched
from the semi. That was a pretty good song too.
I've watched them all except this year. So
you didn't miss much.
That's what I'm hearing. So yeah, those are the pictures of Luxembourg.
I like the lights. Lux indeed.
I totally forgot to remove the poll here. So
Emma
we get
did
the
Latin in
polls
school.
of Luxembourg now. Luxembourg, 57% of our chat folks think is going to qualify. 42% say no. So still pretty close, you know, kind of like what we've seen with virtually every single country this and well, not everyone. I mean, Iceland, Moldova are pretty clear, and Finland seems more likely. But other than that, it seemed pretty even. So it makes it definitely a very, very interesting next few days and a couple of weeks.
Have we actually commented on the pictures from Australia? Like the
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know. It's like it's so hard to keep track now because my brain's like, where are
I
we?
know. Like we're just like your brain sometimes is like a pinball machine. It's just darting back and forth.
That's why I'm always like for monitors. It's like it's not easy, but I manage. It's not my first rodeo, as I keep saying. So let's talk about those pictures now that we have seen a little bit more. Jasmine, I'm going to go to you first. What are your thoughts when you see now a little bit more visuals of Luxembourg?
Well, I like it. I think it will work. I love the prop, even though I don't know what's going to be its function. It reminded me slightly of the prop that Switzerland had in 2021.
Oh yeah, like a mini,
the Tetris
like a
blocks.
kind of
simplified version of
deconstructed cube, deconstructed cube vibes. I don't expect it to be, movable, but whatever they're gonna do with it, I think it's gonna be cool. The only thing that bothers me personally is just her outfit that is so bland, and I don't really get the idea behind it. And I don't necessarily mean black. It's just black bodysuit with nothing on it.
Maybe like
I
add some
don't get
shoulder
it.
pads and like an abdomen so that she
Like
looks like a
whatever,
queen ant.
just whatever.
She looks a bit like
Some
Catwoman.
kind of texture or something. But the pictures look pretty nice. I love the fire backdrop or whatever that was. It looks like fire. Kind of reminds of Poland's last year. I agree with that. So I think it will qualify, and it's a closer. That helps a lot. So overall, positive impressions.
Okay, Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm actually impressed because that is not what I imagined of the prop from the description. I imagined like a few little small cubes scattered around the stage, and I was wondering what their purpose would be. But seeing it now, I think I can envision what they're going for. So I think that they're going to have like shots from different angles of the cube, so it would look like she's falling over or like tripping down, but she's actually not. Just like in the music video where she does like she has those stairs, she's like climbing and all of those visuals. I think that they're going for that route in the beginning, and then it would turn into that. How did you call that, Boris? Sunrise tequila.
Tequila sun, yeah. It's when you combine tequila with grenadine and what orange juice. Why am I saying this? Love yourself, Boris. Love yourself.
Well, then that color palette. And yeah, I do. We have seen a lot of pictures outside of that prop and just on stage without anything else. So I'm wondering, is the dancing back? Who is in charge of the dancing? Is she doing it? Is it just the dancers? What is the dynamic? I hope that she will manage to stay vocally good if she is dancing, but mainly I just hope it's the dancers that do most of the dancing, and she would have interesting things too.
That makes sense. Daniel, any of your thoughts?
Again, just pictures and 3 second. I mean, we don't even have the TikTok. Yeah, it does feel like Poland, like in terms of throwing everything in the kitchen sink in it, and sort of because you're looking at prop and then you're looking at fire and smoke, and it does feel, and the colors very similar. So I'm guessing, yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting any sort of concise idea of what's going on, which I suppose was a bit like Poland last year.
Yeah,
but I guess that had a trajectory throughout the song. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
And you get quite a few of those. Sometimes you can tell, oh my God, this is going to be really good. Sometimes you just don't know. And sometimes you think it's going to be bad. And then it's going to be opposite. I'm not sure if you were on there, Gabe, earlier, but you remember last year when France pictures came out and we were like, and everyone was like, okay, the betting odds went to third place, something like that. Everyone loved it. And then we actually saw the whole thing. It was like, it's not really quite as amazing as it looks on camera. You remember all of that, right?
I remember well us sitting in that hotel room in Liverpool, sort of listening to it and sort of being like, maybe she's saving her vocals.
Oh,
yeah.
May.
It wasn't even visual. I mean, visually was good, but it wasn't as grand as I think we all thought. It just looked like, okay, she's sitting on a big pedestal, like a big pillar. It wasn't quite as
pedestal.
Put myself.
Oh, I still need to be able to use that word.
That's for tomorrow. Okay? That's for tomorrow.
where I will reveal myself as #1 biggest ICO defender.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Let's go.
Oh, really?
I do like her. Yeah.
You're sharing this chat with a certain person who, when Aiko's name was revealed, said, "Oh my God, Aiko!" He might be in this room right now. He might have had a reaction to this.
All I'm saying is, I was
Fight.
I was there at ESCZ. I said, having watched the rehearsal, because I was doing press for ESC United, I said after the rehearsal that Aiko would win. Everyone dunked on me for a week after the show, and then guess who won?
Who?
Broken clocks are sometimes right. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it was Tom Shawn. I love dopamine overdose.
So I also want to give all the viewers just a little, again, a reminder how it's going to work for the next few days. Tomorrow and the day after, we'll now have the semi-2 rehearsing for the first time. So it's the same shenanigans that we did today and yesterday in terms of live streaming. Then Wednesday and Thursday will be long as days. Wednesday will be the entire first semifinal rehearsing for the second time. I don't think that has ever happened, Gabe, right? Where they did like that many in one day?
I think the
last year was also.
Was it all of them? Really?
Because it was also 15, so they did all of them.
Yeah, 15 doesn't count.
That's just a small. I guess it is. Maybe you're right. It is 15. It feels like just so much, but you're right. It's usually 15. Yeah, because it's such a small semi these days. I keep forgetting.
I think the largest proportion was probably in 2019 in the second semi, where I think had 2 NQs from the second half of the second semi. And then like up to 3 qualifiers. I think Switzerland and Denmark, and then maybe another one. I think that was the most disproportionate we had. And then the first semi was like the first time ever that we've had a majority of first half qualifiers.
And that will be fast pace Wednesday and Thursday, because there's a lot going on. And then we'll get also the direct qualifiers rehearsed for the first time. They'll go back to that. And Friday is the leftover semi-2 rehearsing for the second time, like the second half kind of thing. And then Saturday will only be the direct qualifiers rehearsing for the second time. There'll also be a shorter day in terms of live streaming. Sunday, no any kind of rehearsals whatsoever. Of course, we'll be live. And some of you will already then be in Malmö by then, right? You're going to have so much fun.
It's okay. The cool kids stay at home and save their money for Zagreb.
I know, right?
Yes.
And then Monday is very important as well. Of course, that's when the really crazy stuff starts. I will be here with people covering the first. I don't know even if you guys decided yet, you, Gabe, Roy, who's going to be on the live stream, who's going to be in the arena, and all of that stuff.
Well, I might as well. I feel like now's as good a time as any to say to people that I do have standing jury show tickets once again, which means that for the jury show live streams, the run back to ESC United headquarters after the last song is performed will return for the 3rd consecutive year.
How far is it?
I don't know, because we don't know where we're going to be streaming from yet. So it could be 5 minutes. I might be like running to Copenhagen. So like, hey guys, I'm running across the rail bridge.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But anyways, but that will be the first rest rehearsal, which is like,
and I'll be on the show before that. So I'll do the streams. I think the best thing to do would be to do the same thing we did last year, where I do stream, go to show, watch the show, come back.
Because I want everyone to be in the arena at some point, right? Because not everyone has tickets, so that's why I want Roy and Melanie will be in the arena nonstop because she's doing all the social media and pictures and stuff.
Melanie's just going to do her Melanie thing.
Yeah, she's going to be.
If you know her, you know.
So she will do her thing in there. But I want Roy to be in there. I know David can be in there, and you have the jury show, so you'll see it anyways. So
why are all the straight people commentating? Should we not have a camp person in there?
No. And then, anyways, and then in the evening, we'll have the jury. Well, in the semis, it's not really a jury show, but we still call it that, it's just the name. And then, so we'll be live streaming all of that as well. So make sure to be around. So I'm just going to do another round table real quick, starting with you, Jonathan. Any final thoughts before we call it a day for this particular live stream? Things you look forward to, whether it's tomorrow or the next 2 weeks?
Tomorrow, definitely going to be one of the days I expect the most. Malta, Greece, Armenia, Switzerland, Austria, so many that I really want to see what they're bringing already. So yeah, and I will be here tomorrow to comment as well, so that would be fun.
Yay. And Jasmine, who are you looking forward to tomorrow? And then also from the direct qualifiers, which one you're most interested in of the direct qualifiers, since we don't talked about them much right now?
So I already said Switzerland and Austria are the ones that I'm curious the most. And from the direct qualifiers, well, I want to see what Italy is doing, of course. And I'm curious about France. Those two would be my pick. And I will also join at some point tomorrow after I come back from work.
Well, just join in and I'll add you to it. Emma. Who are you looking for? I know we mentioned, but just as a reminder, who are you looking forward to tomorrow, as well as like the direct qualifiers? Who is really interesting to you? You're really excited about? Am
Emma?
I the only one not hearing her? Are you on mute? Or was it me? We cannot hear you, Emma.
Emma?
I was on mute.
Aww.
I know you lie. Your lips are moving. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm
Listen
sorry
for
about
her life.
Okay, so from the not direct qualifiers, but from tomorrow, I think race is tomorrow, right?
Yep.
I'm really curious because there's talks of one camera shot performance, right? I'm really curious what they do with Greece. Let me just check. Who else? Armenia. Armenia is going to be really interesting.
Jaco.
I guess I'm also curious about Albania. I'm not too big of a fan of a revamp, but I love the original song. So I'm curious what they do. If they are going to keep their stream of, black and red stagings. So
all right. And for the direct qualifiers, who do you got there?
Oh, from the direct qualifiers, I guess I'm really looking forward to seeing Spain.
Yes.
UK.
So you get you get your thumbs up bubble next to you. It makes me giggle. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Spain and UK probably.
Okay. Yeah. And Daniel.
Okay, so tomorrow, as I said, I'm sort of interested in looking at Switzerland. I'm still not convinced by it, but I'm quite keen. And also Austria, which I like the song, and Greece for sure. And from the finals, I would say like Italy and France. I think they're like my top favorite anyway, the whole thing. But yeah.
All right, those are good choices, Boris. Tomorrow, I think you mentioned already somebody to do the
almost
last
all
time.
of them. Frankly, I'm looking forward towards all of them. I think this year. What am I saying? God, it's been a couple hours. I felt like today was like the least competitive day, but I feel like tomorrow and the day after tomorrow is going to be a lot of very interesting. Yeah, it's going to be stacked and interesting, and I'm excited for all of them.
Actually, which one's the semi-final of death? They always call one of them. Is it the second one?
I don't really have that one.
I think the second one is more of the semi-final of death because I feel like 8 spots for the final are kind of spoken for going into rehearsals, and there's 4 countries that are vying for the other 4 spots. I'm not going to say who it's.
We'll get to that.
Exactly, precisely.
We'll get to that. Don't spoil it. But who from the direct qualifier sports are you really interested in to see?
Italy.
Okay.
Italy and Spain. Italy and Spain and UK.
Okay, fine. Oh,
I love Spain too. And I love UK and I love Italy.
I mean, I have a feeling which one from the direct qualifiers, but I'll let you answer the question yourself. Who are you looking forward to tomorrow and on the direct qualifiers?
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, Gabe.
Oh,
me. Hi. Hi. Now, in terms of who am I looking forward to tomorrow, I am really looking forward to Switzerland and Czechia, probably above all else. I think Switzerland, because they're sort of, I think, a bit like Croatia, has the kind of, this could reasonably win the thing. So it's like, are we going to see the winning staging tomorrow? With the Czech Republic, both tomorrow and when we get more footage next week, I'm looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to being vindicated again about the Czech Republic in Eurovision. So
Eurovision's vindication vision.
Exactly. So I'm quite excited about that. In terms of the direct qualifiers, I'm curious to see what Ollie Alexander is going to do with his staging. Like, I feel like that's the one that has the most unknowns when I look at those direct qualifiers. Like, I feel like we know that they're going to park and bark Sleman and get him to do his little back away thing. Spain will be the same as it was in the national final, or along the same lines. Italy, Italy's actually also very interesting. But Ollie Alexander, we have no idea. So I'm so excited to see what he brings. And I hope they do some...
Sorry to interrupt. When you say France back away, is that...
Like, he does this thing where he takes a few steps back from the microphone and yells really, really loud. And you can still hear his voice because he has such a powerful voice.
He did that in Croatia. I can link you the vid if you're interested in seeing
I want to be surprised because I didn't watch any of the pre-parties, so I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was great when he was in Croatia. I feel like he should have kept it a little bit. If he's gonna do that in the actual performance, I feel like that should have been maybe kept under wraps. So it's more of a surprise.
He did something similar in Amsterdam during Eurovision in concert. So there was like there was a pause. in the soundtrack. So that's like the change that they're doing. So they're definitely going all in on the vocals with Franz.
I'm going to be serious right now, because I know it. When you say he yells, is it really more like, is he doing like a scream, or is it more like he's just singing?
That's his vocal style, yelling.
He doesn't yell when he sings, at least not what I've heard.
It's very loud. Let's just say that.
Oh, he has a powerful voice. You know, so I'll see then, because when you say yell, I feel like he's doing like, you know, like I don't know.
I'm not high on Franz, so I tend to shade him. Yeah, it's true.
Is he wearing a vest? Is he wearing the vest? Yeah. The sparkly vest?
We do not know that. We don't know any.
I think
of his
it's going to be similar to the music video. I think that would be my. I have a feeling they're going to do a similar feel with the lights and all of that stuff. It was pretty effective, so that would be my thinking. So we shall see. So thank you everyone for joining us. I know there were a few more TikToks, but we got to go for now. But we'll be back tomorrow with our next live stream. Thank you everyone who joined. Actually, stay on for one more second. I'm just going to end the stream. And be back at the same time tomorrow, y'all. And more content to come here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you get all the videos of the reviews and, of course, the other live streams that are about to happen. So have a good night, and I'll see you all on the other side.